Get up and get out. Get out. Get out.
I have a question for you.
Say Christ is Lord. Say Christ is Lord. Say it. You say Christ is Lord. Get out. Get out. Christ is Lord.
Hello and welcome in to another episode of Offensively Accurate. And today we're going to be very, very casual. As you can tell with my frumpy looking headwear, that the beanie just didn't fit right. And of course, I'm unfortunately under the weather again a little bit as I was feeling through the day. Also, shout out to Zeb Boykin. Unfortunately, it looks like the flu has been getting him too. It's been a bit of a struggle, but we're doing good. We're moving. And we're here to talk about that there's a problem with ICE. We're here to talk about the problem with ICE. It's been on the news. It's kind of the main topic of today. One of many main topics today. And that is this problem with ICE. And we have a problem. And that problem is that ICE is not going far enough. The problem is that we're not seeing enough videos of people getting drugged through the snow-covered streets of Minnesota and thrown into the back of vans, never to be seen or heard from again. That's the problem. See, if you were listening to quite literally many other sources of information, many other people, they would tell you that the problem is that ICE isn't handling things okay. And ICE is, ICE is, ICE is doing this, or maybe they shouldn't have shot the guy, or, maybe he shouldn't have. No, the problem is actually quite literally the opposite. And Nick Fuentes hit the nail on the head last night. We're going to watch a short, 2-minute clip from him. He balled out last night once again. And that is the problem. And I know early stream, we might go a little bit long today. Apologize. Also because I was losing energy as I was show prepping, and I'm let me just do a little bit earlier so I don't risk feeling like trash. But that was kind of, he hit the nail on the head. And this was some of the fears, like we've addressed previously, for me going into even late 2024, which was the idea that Donald Trump would cave to the pressure of the media. And now seemingly we're getting the problem solver caucus, with many other Republicans seemingly joining rank, also talking about needing to pave a path to citizenship for these individuals, led by people like Mike Lawler, whose loyalty is to Israel and not the America that you and I know and love. And well, I'm sorry to hear that you're depressed, Orthodox people, Grandma. Hopefully we can fix that a little bit, remedy it a little bit, because not to black pill, but there is a problem here, which is the idea that if you were asking me, now Nick seems to be a bit more positive on the element that this person, this thing that this entity, this Hitler we're trying to summon, may be in the draft, in the audience somewhere waiting. I'm more pessimistic on that element, which is why I'm a bit more of an acceleration. I think ultimately a lot more of an acceleration than Nick. I don't really think Nick's an accelerationist. I am. I would like to be proven wrong. I would like to be proven wrong on that element. But I'm telling you, I can't find it within me to believe that there is this person who would make Donald Trump look like a joke. So without further ado, I'll let the man explain it and say it from the top himself. He'll do a better job saying it than I can, to be honest with you anyways. But this is This is Nick driving the nail on ice not going far enough. Let me pull it up here for you. Pull this here. Just a 2-minute clip, but he nails it. And it is such a cut different than what you're getting from many other commentators, because the majority of these mainstream individuals are doing this hand-wringing and arguing over the finer details of should they or should they have not. And I'm here to tell you, I do not care. I don't give a F. The real, and like Nick's going to say here, the real tragedy is the fact that it seems to be we had this moment in our hands and it's leaving us. And on the other side of that is a future that you or I do not want any part of and definitely do not want for our children. But here's the clip.
We need something more radical and more extreme and more intense than anybody thinks is reasonable right now. That is what needs to happen. ICE has not gone far enough. Trump and the National Guard have not gone far enough. What's the answer to Trumpism? We need to build upon Trumpism. We need to deepen it. We need to expand it. We need to make it more radical. We need somebody in 2028 that makes Donald Trump look like a fucking joke. That's the only solution. That's what makes me worried. When I see people crying about a couple of dead left-wing protesters, you are simply not prepared for what has to happen next. There needs to be a lot more ICE. There needs to be a lot more of that sort of thing before we take our country back. So we need to start laying the groundwork. We need to start imagining and visualizing what it's going to take to save our country. This is not the tragedy. We are going to be the tragedy if we don't win the battle. Renee Good, Alex Pretty, wait until Western civilization falls. That's the tragedy. Wait until they raise the flag of BLM. They raise the flag of the Islamic Crescent. They raise the hammer and sickle, the Star of David. Wait until they raise that flag over our defeated civilization when we live among the ruins, hunted like animals in South Africa. You think this is a tragedy? Let me give you a crystal ball. I'll show you the tragedy. This is not a tragedy. This is nothing. This is a good start. But we need somebody to finish the job. That's the difference.
And quite literally, I can't really say much better than that. And is the person in waiting? Maybe we'll find out. Perhaps somebody in a moment, in a rapid flurry, in a quick year to 2 year turnaround can be that person. I just don't see that. And that's not to here to be pessimistic. It's just to be pragmatic to move forward. What's on the table? What do we have? What is available to us? But this is the point. And the point there is it's increasingly becoming evident that it is an all or nothing game. And this backpedaling here, because what's on the table, the back away right now, and what's on the table is that there's a current caucus of, I believe it's like at least 30 or 40, maybe probably a lot more, Republicans who have now joined what's called the Problem Solver Caucus. And their entire purpose is to find a way to pave mass amnesty for millions of illegal immigrants, thus essentially cementing in law the 10 to 20 to 30, etc. million of illegal immigrants who are here, giving them an eligibility to become a citizen just as much as you or I. Which is quite literally the opposite of what anybody voted for. But this is what's sitting on the table right now. And that it would be the tragedy. And the reason why Nick is considered like the greatest orator of all time is, again, because of the way he can articulate things, paint pictures, and it's so vivid. And that is what's on the table. What is on the table is a future for us where it does look like South Africa, where it does look like as we continually echelon and cascade down and we lose the majority. And next thing you know, the headlines will be 50%. Next thing you know, it'll be America's finally become a multicultural society. They will celebrate on the ashes of what came before us. But that's not where it stops. And we know that's not where it stops. We know exactly how they feel, the intentions, and the purpose. They tell you and they say the quiet part out loud many, many times. There was a recent, thank you very much for the gifted. Who was that? Thank you very much, AO World Champion, for the gifted. Appreciate that, brother. And it's not just this one lady I'm about to bring up. They say this quite often, and it's very common, and it's wild that it's not picked up on more. But you'll see in these continual interviews, and like we had mentioned with Jeffrey Sachs not too long ago, when we were kind of talking about separating between the sub-factions of who's anti-Israel, then you're like, oh, okay, I like what Jeffrey Sachs says here, but what does Jeffrey Sachs say on the other side? Finally, we won't be in a European dominant society. Finally, that era is over. What does that mean? Then you go to the interview like I'd seen earlier today. What is the girl talking about? The guy's explaining how the white majority, the idea of a white America, the white majority following the birth rates. She goes, isn't that a good thing? And this is the mindset of the people who you see going and agitating these individuals, these officers. And we're going to explore some of that. I have some of the stuff saved from yesterday I wanted to look at too. But that's what is at the doorstep. And the part that bothers me the most, and I mean this wholeheartedly, the part that bothers me the most is we have kind of like, if you were to just look at the right side of the aisle, what you have in the elderly, like our elders, right? The people who are older than us, the ones for the most part who are holding like some of the top positions, who hold a lot of sway and influence, they are the patriarchs. They are essentially the guy in the Matrix who is looking at the steak that is fake and going essentially to whether indirectly or directly, some will say quite frankly to you, rather bluntly, that they would much rather just go along with the illusion. They would much rather just can tell themselves that what they're eating is steak, and that what they have done and continue to do and did for the generations that have since preceded them was good. And we know that's all fake. We know it's a big pile of poopy, and that is not what they gave us. Then you have the generation that comes after them, which is Gen X. And inside of Gen X, you have that Generation X is very, very split up. You have a bunch of like metalheads, hippie heads. You have a bunch of pot smokers. You have motorcycle gang guys. You have a bunch of 50-year-old women who are have a bunch of plants, and they're kind of out of the picture. They really don't even matter to be honest with you. And that's not to be rude by any means. It's just like generationally, they're kind of like one of the quietest generations currently. Then after that, you have the millennials, which is basically separated into two subsets. You have one half of the millennials is a bunch of like, what's a YouTube appropriate way to say this? They're a bunch of homosexual retards, which is largely what you would say to describe the majority of that half of the demographic. And then on the right-hand side of the demographic, you have like the buck broken, will annihilated, enslaved guys that exist, like a lot of the guys that are around my age and a bit older. And I'm a zillennial, so I'm right at the cusp of Gen Z. And then underneath, what do you have in Gen Z? With Gen Z, it's like you have a bunch of guys that literally do not. You could describe it as like they just don't care. So you have people who are drinking the Kool-Aid, people who are IV hooked up to the Kool-Aid, and then you have those who said, "I don't want Kool-Aid, give me Hennessy." And it's inside of this that when you look at these things, for one, a lot of anger needs to be directed at the boomers. For the most part, they literally looked at the next generations and said, F you all. But that's kind of where I'm looking at, which is, that's where the choice is now. For a lot of the millennials, the people who are in their early 30s, late 20s, early 40s, are we going to do the same thing? Are we going to just shut up, pack away, complain on the internet? Not to say like it's worthless to talk about these things. But it's like now the decision has moved. The football has came down the field, and here we are. We have the decision in front of us. And what is facing us is you can either chimp the fuck out on MAGA and on Donald Trump and scream and writhe and dance as much as possible, which is what I think we should be doing, to prevent what happened to South Africa. Because in any other sense, you are essentially just condemning your children to a worse future without you in it. And I can't live with myself thinking about that. It pains me to no end thinking about the fact that the capable people are the ones who are saying, it can't be me. I can't be bothered. So it's not to say, I guess the broader point here would also be, I am at the point where people bring up the Constitution and they bring up, well, what about this? Or things like the statute of limitations. My answer to that is, I'm with Gen Z. I don't care. I do not care at all. The Constitution meant nothing a long time ago. And the longer that people on our side are continually trying to hold themselves to some piece of parchment that everyone else in this nation has already shat upon and pissed on and spit on, it is angering. It is angering, and it is removed from the situation. That is not how we are going to fight our way out of it. And it's very much in the line with Sam Hyde, which is like, you know, maybe if I just ran out with the Constitution, it would protect me. You know, when the government's finally here and I'm like one of the last 10 white people alive, I'm going to pull out my Constitution and say, but it says right here, as they shoot me, as they blow holes through my chest, it's time to pony up and realize that we are in you can say unprecedented for a number of things, but it's really not. Where we are is where the plane begins to take off from the highway, which is to say, we are beginning to reach the opening untoils, not just to say of civil war, but civil conflict, to where it can really bubble over into a lot of different elements. And hopefully we get the guy, you know, and I could only imagine, even if we don't get one around election time, someone may possibly come out of this just regardless, you know, closer maybe to towards the end of 2028 while the election's happening. And that'll be unfortunate just in the fact that the realization becoming too late. But at the same time, what matters is the will of the people. And if the will of the people no longer recognize the authority that comes to the door, much like what ICE is trying to do, but say that extends itself to the right as well, now a lot of things don't even matter at all. You know, because it's not going to matter much what a piece of paper says if there's nobody around and it's just an ICE agent and an illegal. And it's just wild because I think a lot of people, when they interact with politics, maybe partially just because they want to not ever be caught out or saying anything they feel would be like bad, or they're like, oh no, I don't want to push anything. But at the same time, this stuff's not pretend. This is real life. And when I look at things like all of this bitching and moaning and crying about people from Jacob Pretty and Renee Nicole Good, and it's just like, I'm sorry, like I was here when Irina Zarutska was stabbed. And you guys didn't give a shit about that. I'm sorry, like I remember that. Did you just think you can just like you post 24 times about some random Jew looking dude who's a male nurse, and like now that like it doesn't mean anything, dude. It doesn't mean shit to me. I remember Irina Zarutsky. I remember Charlie Kirk. I remember Laken Riley. We could go down the list. And that's maybe kind of the point, which is maybe we need to have like some introspection into us and be like, what's holding us back from chimping out a bit more? Because at the end of the day, when you look at it pragmatically, it is the pressures from these protesters and the fact that they're literally batshit insane, signing up for all these different things, doing these radio signal calls. They're running the license plates. I mean, at a certain point where it's just like we're either going to match that, or it's going to be, 5 years down the line, and everyone's hoping that the law comes in and save them. It's like at a certain point, you will have to be the law. And people just got to be realistic with it. And part of the problem is too, is this is the politics when it starts touching on civil conflict and war and warring for a nation, having the conviction to do things like because you must, you have to, in necessity for your survival, for your existence, for your posterity. These things begin to, and it's not a diss on women, but these things just begin to reach a different realm, which is outside the realm of women. And I do see a lot of that going on too. I saw a thing from Alex Clark that was like, I have a group chat from 20,000 girls and they really don't think that they don't like what ICE is doing. They think there's better ways of handling it. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Not a single person here cares or wants to know. And if anything, and she's like, I don't know why everybody's so getting mad about this. And it's like, because you highlighted something that no one cares about and doesn't need to be injected in the conversation because it doesn't matter in the first place. Nobody wants to hear the whining of women in the back room who didn't have the ability to enact forced doctrine in the first place, who aren't the ones on the front lines having to do these things or dealing with the immediate consequences thereof. But if we can get a person like that, I'm all for it. I'm cynical on getting them in a timely manner that would be beneficial. Forgive me for ranting there for a hot minute. I wasn't paying attention to the chat. But David Lamplayan says it's almost like ancient people understood female nature, and that's why they restricted their behavior. Every society, essentially, until the first wave of feminism, literally across almost all cultures, everywhere. Period. No, yeah, right. I'm saying immediate consequences. Immediate consequences is in the first, when the door gets busted down, the expectation is the man standing there in the way, right? The man will face the enemy first. I mean, that's in general, these are what you would hope to be. I don't know anymore, to be honest with you. It can be Nick, but I mean, Nick's not, he's not eligible, right? He's not even eligible to be president. I don't think not even until 2032. And there does come a point where you go, you know, we need it to happen in a timely manner. Because it's just going to get more chaotic, more disgusting, more just overall just unnecessary. And that's kind of it. It's like, it's unnecessary. Where is Hitler to come in and say, roll the tanks through Minnesota? If Tim Walz steps out of line, arrest that man. If Mayor Frey steps out of line, arrest that man. Running these half-assed operations is the only reason why we're getting a lot of what we're getting. And then you see Trump, and the thing is Trump was never going to be the guy to do that anyways. He doesn't have it in him. Doesn't have it in him, and he never did. But moving on, another thing I wanted to, I guess, bring up a little bit of attention to. And again, we're moving casual today. I just wanted to cover a group of things while we're going through it. Nick did address a little bit last night on the show. I did finally get 20K. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Nick addressed a little bit of the Andrew Tate podcast circuit and him running the circuit last night as well too, which they did make up in the tweets here. But I guess I'll play the clip first so you know what I'm talking about before I continue.
Bobby Roy % $20. I get that Tate is in a tough spot, but honestly, fuck him. I rolled in the mud with the pig's nigga fist bumped Steiny and called him a top G. Crying face emoji. Crying face emoji.
Yeah, you know, I didn't really appreciate that remark. I'll just be charitable and assume that he misspoke. It was just an idiom. I didn't really appreciate that. I've been out here defending him. And if he wanted to go and say he didn't play the song, well, that's technically true. And if he wanted to go out and say that he's being unfairly blamed for it, I mean, I don't disagree with that. And if he doesn't want to double down, well, I understand you got to do what you got to do. But I don't like all these little sneak disses. I mean, why throw us under the bus?
Super chat, brother. I appreciate
you know, I don't like this. I was rolling around in the mud with pigs, and the only reason anyone cared is because I was there, and they're just doing it for clicks. It's like, you know, why are we to blame now? It's now we're at fault. I mean, what is that? I mean, blame Patrick Bet-David. Patrick Bet-David sat you down for the humiliation ritual.
So therein, he just kind of says, you know, he doesn't appreciate what felt like the sneak disses, and it did feel like that. I don't believe it's what he's directly referencing here, but Andrew Tate had said, I believe it was with Steiny, that even if Nick had went and played the NHH in a club somewhere, that it wouldn't be national news. And so this to me is, I think, insane. And I'm kind of with SNEAKO on this. I think at this point right now, Nick Fuentes is a bit of a hotter topic than Andrew Tate, although maybe Andrew Tate giving a bit of a run of his money for what his recent comments right now. But this idea that almost like Nick needs Andrew Tate, or some of these kind of ideas seem to be creeping in. Andrew Tate only, I mean, again, he's giving the same story 5 different times, 5 days in a row. There's only so much you can work with before you start kind of just really telling people how you feel. And they did make up in the comments here, which that was funny. But it's Andrew Tate said he didn't mean to insult Nick. When I said roll in the mud with the pigs, I meant the entire club of Miami retards, not our crew. And which you can see, again, X literally will not show you Nick at all. Nick replied to this. I promise you, I saw it earlier. We'll see it. There it is. He says, all good, they're trying to divide us. Which seems maybe not the most, what's the word? Convincing that Nick is all good there, but regardless, that's been going on in the background. And, you know, and like we've been talking about, you know, to me, it comes across very strong as like what Nick is saying here, like they're trying to divide them, like the very Project Esther element. Let me take these glasses off too. They're bothering me. But a very strong element of coordinated campaigning, influence campaign, whatever you want to say, to pit these different kind of guys at each other. And one of the more sad things I think I've seen is actually like one of the Clipper pages for Andrew Tate was like typing out like depressing stuff. He was like clipping Tate's bad moments, which was crazy. So it looks like even some of the Clippers in that community are not happy with what was going on. Seemed to challenge him to a boxing match. That's funny. Tate says he has find out money, but he won't fuck around just to brag, I guess. Yeah. Well, this is kind of the thing. One of these clips we have here, hopefully I grabbed it in there. It's a back and forth of Andrew Tate talking about how he's like, you would never apologize. Don't ever apologize. Let me go and find that, actually. I should have that here. And we have a bunch, man. There's so much to get into today, but let me see if I can find this one specifically with SNEAKO. Right here. I had it right next to it, forgive me. And so this is with, I believe, Sean Kelly. Not this one, but this clip here. And I forget how old it is, but it's obviously not recent by any means. But you just listen to the back and forth here. And clearly there's different pressures being applied.
This bullshit they put me through had one singular objective. And the objective was to make me say sorry. I was the symbol of resistance.
Facts.
And all they wanted me to do was say sorry.
Cook.
That's all they wanted. Because once they get that, he's not top G anymore.
Facts,
Look,
Cobra.
he was top G. We hit him with the system.
Yeah, you can't be top G if you apologize. Facts, Cobra. Talk to him.
Look, he's sorry. Look. See? That's your hero? And they can't fucking stand that I've never said sorry.
Yeah.
Put me back in that shitty
Yeah,
room in the
top G
Romanian
doesn't
dungeon
apologize.
for 25
Yes,
years.
go to jail.
And I'll leave with a big beard, and I won't
Yes.
say fucking sorry. Because the second I say fucking sorry, all of this work was for nothing. Because me
Facts.
saying sorry, me breaking,
Yes.
would break the hearts of all the young men who believe in me.
Cook.
So I'm sorry to anybody who is offended. Anybody who's offended.
No, Cobra.
It is incredible to me how close he can get to the original sound, and he's not actually using the original sound. Like, it almost made me think, like, is he where the soundboard comes from? Like that fa. It's like, is that actually SNEAKO?
Cobra. Well, I guess you're right. I'm top G. Stole that shit. Give me that. Based off your own words.
It's funny. So right now we are huge SNEAKO fans right now. Actually, this is a pro SNEAKO stream. We have forged a temporary alliance with the Muslims. No, I'm just kidding. But again, this situation's just been overall just kind of a drag, I think, to the general conversation at large. And I do think there's to a certain element, it's almost kind of good in the fact that I don't think Andrew Tate ultimately was giving many people any kind of strong things to hang on to in terms of like to listen to. And it was mentioned by somebody, it might have even been SNEAKO himself, who had said perhaps there's elements here that Andrew Tate is also mad that Nick might be sniping some of his red pill audience, or because that the red pill and like the matrix is kind of moving away from just feminism and only feminism encapsulated in that, and moving to something more broader, which is Israel, Jewish nature, Christianity, as well as things like feminism and race realism. I thought that was good. We have a couple of things from Steve Bannon. I guess to give a bit more of a gist of like today, Steve Bannon has seemingly came out and he's a lot more vocal. I have a hard time trusting Bannon just overall, but if you're going to say good things, you say good things. We'll go through that. Steve Bannon's taking aim at both Stephen Miller and just going in intervention with Iran. We'll take a listen to a couple of those clips. Jeremy Boring, years later, is still obsessed about the Christ is King debate and just saying the word Christ is King. He had the super awkward moment where he went on trigonometry. I have a clip there where he's going in on it. It's just insane that he won't just, he's still butthurt about it. I saw Kaiser Rev post the clip. I was blown away. I'm like, we're years removed. Like, he's not even in the same position he's in. And the dude goes on trigonometry, not to talk about like, a project, but they spend time talking about Nick Fuentes. It's incredible, man. We'll look at a couple of the people from the Problem Solvers Caucus, as well as a statement from Mike Lawler. I believe I put that in there. We also have Nick Fuentes and Joe Rogan's episode dropped today. They had a good little clip about sexual harassment and the meme, which is, the Chad. He's like, hey, Deborah, how you doing? And she's like, oh, hey, I'm doing great. Then you have the bottom one, which is, the Chud, the ugly Chud comes in, and she's like, HR, somebody call 911. And weird things with Candace Owens. Eric Prince had some statements. Megyn Kelly had a great moment. Tyler Oliveira is back at it again. I have 2 clips from him specifically. And something that may intrigue people a lot is actually there's some leaked audio from Erika Kirk that's been going around. And I seemingly have the complete opposite take to it from everything that I'm seeing. And this leaked audio came out from Erika Kirk, and it was supposedly from like 11 days after Charlie Kirk had died. And people are talking about it as if it's like this surefire sign, like she's like this evil person, and like how dare she talk about these things. And we'll get into it, but to me it just sounds normal, and it sounds like she's addressing her team, and it's not like she's omitting Charlie. Like it's very weird, like what seemingly is occurring with the Charlie Kirk situation right now. We'll take a look into that, but we'll start with Steve Bannon here. Steve Bannon in particular making some comments about Iran, but also taking aim at Stephen Miller. So here's that on Iran.
The problem in Tehran is not our problem. The problem in Minneapolis is our problem. We need to deal with our problems. And still you go around the world picking a fight in response to what Netanyahu wants to do. The Israel First Project can put on hold for a minute. Let Israel first deal with the Palestinian state that's been created by the Board of Peace in Gaza with Qatar and Turkey. Until we start going, even a concept of bombing Tehran right now is about as insane as you can possibly get when you're an open color revolution revolt on an insurrection in Minneapolis. The problem in Tehran is...
So these were some of his comments, he's specifically going directly at the people who are the war hawks wanting to get shit done over in Iran, but also just the general irritation of having to hear about Israel nonstop. It's kind of getting to me too. It's getting to the point where dude, I might be joining Stu Peters, dude. I might just be going. No, I'm joking. We can't get too low IQ. I like Stu. He's a nice guy. Seemingly a nice guy. But this is just like, we need more of this. This needs to be multiplied by 10,000. And and you just think about it too. Like, when am I going to get when am I going to go I'm going to get a food package. I'm going to get a PS5. It's going to drop out of the sky. It's going to have the Star of David on it. Where's Israel at? Where's our greatest ally? Why doesn't anybody care about our plight? Why isn't it being televised nonstop in Israel and on Israeli Channel 12? Why don't they do that and just spam it and sit there and go, here's these American problems, right? Why don't they just spam what's happening here in America over and over and over again? The answer is obvious. But this is him taking aim at Stephen Miller, who has since been essentially nowhere to be found, at least not on the timeline anywhere. Here's this.
Let me be blunt. Stephen Miller, let me be blunt. You can't send 300 Customs and Border and ICE and not have a whole of government approach. You have to have DOJ. You have to have tiger teams of prosecutors. I think they've had 12 prosecutors quit the Minneapolis office. That's fine.
It's definitely real.
Nobody's forcing you to work.
We have people screaming now, like people like Kenny KO and others who are jumping on it like just as a grift and bringing up some of the most basic points. And then on top of that all, what they do is they spin it up on a bunch of like with Ian Carroll and Candace Owens maybe doing a bit better job, but there are people like in the lower tier that is like Kenny KO, and they've made it like their entire persona, and it's away from Christianity. Like anything, like if you're anti-Semitic from the lens of Christianity, that's how it should be, not from the sense of like a white national pure race identity element where you just hate these people for what they do. I mean, I'm not saying they're not doing anything, but the hatred element, that to me is low IQ. To hate people and be removed from Christ of that, like to me, that's low IQ. Letting your hatred of other people like that take you away from the ball game of Christianity, to me, is low IQ. Sure, it's shorthand and it might feel offensive. I get that, but trust me, like you go on these timelines, you stay on X long enough under people like Candace Owens or Adam or Seven Seas or Suleiman Ahmed, you will see some very, 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 very poor takes, and also just like kind of just, again, missing the point. I'm going to go back a little bit.
Safas, that's fine. Nobody's forcing you to work. But Surge, other prosecutors, FBI, where are the pipe hitters? Where's Department of War? Where's an entire full whole of government approach? You can't put a handful of Customs and Borders and ICE agents there and let them be surrounded every night by domestic violent terrorists. This is an inflection point. You blink now and you're going to blink forever. You bend the knee now, you'll bend the knee forever. If we stand in the breach and say, screw you, we're fighting for the country, right? And I don't care how many people I got to deport. I don't care. If the families are there and they're there illegally and we want to keep them together, guess what? You're going to have to round up some 5-year-olds with their parents. But they're going home. And home ain't the United States. I don't care how long they've been here on Biden's watch law-abiding. That's not the point. They're here illegally. We can't afford it. African Americans, Hispanic American citizens, the white working class, their lives are being destroyed. Their education systems, their health care, their jobs are being taken. Their wages are being driven down. They're American citizens. And illegal alien invaders are not American citizens. That's a bright line. And somebody's got to be clarifying that. Because MAGA ain't backing down. We're not in the back down business.
Unfortunately, that is what MAGA is. MAGA is in the back down business. And it was news to me, as per what I saw from Rerum Navarum, the Telegram channel, also the X account that does a lot of news aggregation, that the ICE agents who were involved in the I guess the apprehension of Jacob Pretty, or involved in the fatal shooting of Jacob Pretty, have all been put on administrative leave. The thumbnail of Bovino, he's flexing like the SS style, jacket while he's walking around commanding his troops. Sent home, gone. And all we're getting from Donald Trump is, it's so all very unfortunate. It's all a tragedy. We can't believe ICE is making mistakes. You're getting the complete opposite. And like David Lopan said, Trump will do nothing. Trump will do nothing. But enough about that. We covered that like crazy yesterday. Nothing really has changed. There's been some more reporting on the ground. Some of the other reports I saw today, specifically from Minnesota on the ground, is that Minnesota has broadened a bit more of its operations, and they're getting less resistance overall, even though they're still doing like door-to-door knocking. So I guess we'll see how that goes. Ultimately, though, I do agree with Dumernet. I listened to a little bit with him and Zeb Boykin on their stream. I believe this was maybe yesterday or 2 days ago. But where is the ICE presence at? Why is it not in Texas, California, New York, or even just at large in all of the right-wing states like Florida? Knowing that the governors are going to be helping you and assisting you, like, why were these operations not being carried out en masse in those states first, and then we moved to Minnesota? And then also Dumernet was making the point that the majority of like the Somalians like that we're seeing are committing the fraud are technically, like, by all accounts, legal. And so even if we were to get arrest and we get all of like the situation cleaned up, it's not going to result in many deportations because the Somalians in Minnesota weren't the original target, even amidst the illegal reentry crossings, or just only have the crime of entry. So, performative, perhaps. One element is the fact that people were talking about, is this, was it an ego play from Donald Trump? People know that Donald Trump doesn't like Tim Walz, not nearly like at all. And was this just an attempt to go at Tim, to go at Walz? Make Walz say he likes Trump, something to that effect, and get nothing for the American people, and only do some self-soothing techniques that an infant could do. Moving on, this is Jeremy Boring. Next thing we're going to look at is Jeremy Boring on his the Christ is King debate that ended and he lost years ago, sitting here and bringing it up once again. For what reason, I could not tell you. I could not explain it to you. I just like, when I see Jeremy Boring, I see red. No. Dude, the slightest bit of activity, and I'm like, I'm dying. I'm gonna sit very still. Let me pull it up. Lord have mercy. I think hold on. My lung is somewhere up here. Let me like pull it back down. But here's Jeremy Boring, and this caught me by surprise. And I'm assuming it must have dropped earlier today. And it's from Kaiser Riv here. And just to give some pre-context again, which I'm sure many of you in the chat already know, but I believe it was in 2023. Maybe it was even a bit earlier than that. But regardless, this is part of the reason and was happening amidst the Candace Owens Crisis King debacle, which we have a funny joke on the debacle we'll get to. And this is where she leaves the Daily Wire, and this is when all of the shit flinging was going back and forth between her and, Nick was joining in. But I think at that point, Nick wasn't allowed back on X, so he was joining in as like either Autumn Groiper or Candace Owens. I can't remember which account he had at that point. And it was funny because it became a rallying cry of all the people who were very anti the Daily Wire, who are obviously anti-Israel and were Christian. And it was a cry not as a, we hate Jews. The cry was, no, Christ is king. It was like a dare. It's like, you say it. It's like, you say it and mean it. It was a cry and it was a shout because many people were waking up to the fact that the large mainstream institutions they were getting their conservative news from were only conservative in the Jewish sense. They were not Christian by any means. And as people were waking up to this fact, Candace Owens did a great job in helping drive that nail. You got to give flowers when flowers are due. People were waking up, and this caused a lot of tensions. And even from that moment, still, you have a lot of people to this day. I remember coming across an elder. I'm not going to say elderly woman. I feel like that's a weird way to put it. But an older woman who's like, has a good, decent relationship with my wife because of a professional relationship. And she asked me because she knows what I do and she likes what I do, and I appreciate that for it. And so, if you see this, Laura, I appreciate you. But she was telling me, what happened with Candace Owens? What happened? And I made the realization that because she's not on X, she's only getting her news about what happened to Candace Owens from other mainstream sources. So you're talking like Fox News. And so how they were all painting the picture. They're painting it as like Candace Owens is going on this Nazi streak. She just fell out of the sky and became a white supremacist and hates Jews. It's like, whoa. See, she's asking me and I explained it to her and she's like, what? Really? And she, and she's like telling all these things, and like, it just feels good to be able to help wake people up like that and who are still with it. And even though they're old and technically boomers, they were receptive. And part of it does come from the fact that, her husband is very anti-Israel for very different reasons, but I'm not going to explain more about that. They're personal friends, and I'm not going to give you any more details about that. And I want them to feel concerned by any means. But here's this. This is a crisis king. Jeremy Boring, he's still butthurt about it. It pains him. Every time he closes his eyes, he sees Nick in one and Candace in the other. And this is him spouting out his trauma.
Yeah, well, listen, there is a religious component to a lot of what's happening. People like Nick Fuentes like to lead with Christ as king as a sort of tribal rally.
Nick says this every day, dude. I don't believe him anymore.
I think that's anathema to, I think what they're actually, the term Christ is king is not anathema to Amen. Christianity or the gospel message. But what they are admittedly doing by invoking the term Christ is king is, Nick Fuentes is very clear about what he's doing when he uses Christ.
Has anyone ever met a real clan member? Just talking to myself in the mirror account. It feels like that some days, man. Okay, no interruptions, I'm sorry. He looks different. Yeah, because he was, this is after being spiritually raped and losing his positions and being dog walked out of the Israeli Wire. He has the prey eyes right now. Granted, that might be a little harsh, but again, he's scum and he got everything that came to him, and this is him trying to continue that because he's a very arrogant person and he would never be able to say he was sorry or he was wrong, and none of us will ever hear that from him.
By invoking the term Christ is King is. Nick Fuentes is very clear about what he's doing when he uses Christ is King. He chose a rallying cry that would exclude Jews. That's why he chose it. So therefore, Christ is King is a way of excluding Jews from the political project that he's engaged in creating. I think that is anathema to the gospel. I think it's using the name of the Lord in vain. I've said as much publicly before. I think one should be very careful about wielding the name of God for personal or tribal gain.
There he is, right. It's a tribal rallying cry. We'll keep it here. Elrac says, wait, did he get fired from the Daily Wire? LMAO, when did that happen? Resignation, fired. It was more like a relegation is what it was. It was a strong relegation. And I believe he's technically still a part of it. Guess what's the word? He's working in some kind of different role now, but he's not in the position that he used to be. I don't remember who the CEO is now or who the new one is. I think it might just have fallen default to Ben Shapiro. And they were also having some financial issues as well. So a bit of both, a bit of a firing, but also maybe more of a demotion is probably the best way to say that. But thank you very much. New Day says, you do great work, Atlas. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys. And thank you for the nice comments. It's always good to get one that says, I thought you were AI. or not get one that says, I thought you were AI.
Does that mean that so that is a religious component to what's happening? And where there is religion, there is a spiritual component as well. I say that as a believer. I'm a Christian. I therefore believe that when one invokes Christ, they're invoking something real. Now, whether they have the power to actually make such an invocation, your mileage may vary, but they're certainly playing with forces, Hamlet might say, there are more things in heaven and earth than are present in our philosophy, right? They're playing with something that's real, whether they think it's real or not. But I don't think that it is. Sometimes you just talk because it's your turn to talk, and what you should really do is think for a second. What I would say.
Okay, I had seen the caption that said there was an awkward silence in this, but that's brutal. That is brutal. Also, that's brutal. Somebody said, is that a key necklace he's wearing? Weird. So the necklace is, he always wears this key. It's part of his, so the production company that was paired or partnered with the Daily Wire was working with the Daily Wire for the Daily Wire was called Bent Key Productions. And I believe that's also what they named their streaming company after. I could be misnaming him, but regardless, Bent Key. And it supposedly stems from his days as a theater kid when, he was frolicking around being a homo Jew before he, came over here and started talking about conservative politics. But that's the story to a certain effect. And the thing is I believe because he was relegated to this back here and he had more time to work on what he wanted to, which was the Pendragon series, which I've read about 10 times. I still can never remember what it's about, but it was kind of his brainchild of a project, which was I don't know if it was originally set to star Brett Cooper or not, but it was essentially kind of like a fantasy appealing to younger teen audience, fiction series, Netflix series. And they were beginning to build this platform with all the streaming stuff on it. And they had a lot of momentum before people realized they worked for Israel. And then everything started kind of falling apart. They started having a bunch of money issues, and now you don't see Jeremy Boring anymore.
Yes.
Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that.
The language of religion is being used right now to the benefit of people who, as far as I can see, do not have, are not engaged in a project that's consistent with the gospel of
Christ.
It's
fine. I'm like only got 20K. I'll take that.
But it is very powerful tribal language. They're wielding sort of elemental forces that have existed in all cultures throughout time, and in the case of Christianity, I believe forces that are quite true. And they're wielding them for personal gain and to great effect because they are greatly effective tools. I don't think that what's being expressed is any sort of true Christian religion.
That's brutal. So the silence is one thing, and him like doing this like whole like, you guys were supposed to say something now, is kind of insane. I mean, look at him looking down, Kaizen, and then looks back up. And the reason why this is kind of insane too is less so this guy. I don't even know who this dude is. Like, just forget about him. But Konstantin Kaizen was one of the top people who was co-signing all of the dog water coming out of Jeremy Boring and the Babylon Bee. And understand the Daily Wire and the Babylon Bee are unique in the fact that they are largely and primarily staffed with people who are extremely pro-Israel, pro-Zionist. This includes Joel Berry, this includes Seth Dillon, and that brings in people like Ashley St. Clair and the connection with Elon Musk, but like Kyle Mann. And then most people know the Daily Wire crew, right? Ben Shapiro, Andrew Klavan, Boring while he was there, Walsh, etc., Knowles. And during the beginning of like when James Lindsay was brigading with the right, and like with people like Tim Pool early on too, although he came off the train pretty quickly, was the idea of the woke right. And they were pushing this idea largely with the framework of James Lindsay and being co-signed by this guy right here. Also co-signing the Christ is King argument. Also largely being oppositional to people like Candace Owens, Dave Smith, etc., and being very intellectually dishonest with a lot of his arguments. And the crazy thing is here we are with Boring, and even on their own podcast, it feels like they're unwilling to back him up in this segment. They're like kind of waiting for him to move on. And perhaps it's because Konstantin Kaizen has been absolutely slammed so many times. And it's beginning to be a really hard play for Konstantin Kaizen to pretend that he is anything close to a conservative. And I would say he can't anymore at this point. I think they got to fully go into the center angle. And like many of you had seen if you had watched my Consequences of Feminism video, these are the guys who platformed Ashley St. Clair when she wanted to go on a tirade talking about how the Whatever podcast and the Fresh and Fit podcast and every podcast like it needs to be censored off the internet. 2 minutes after she praised Elon Musk for purchasing X for opening up free speech. No, obviously that's because she is a batshit crazy feminist. Forgive me, I've been cursing like crazy the last couple of streams. I need to tighten it down. James Lindsay is such a butt plug. This is true. James Lindsay is, like, by all accounts, there is no heterosexual activity such as marriage or procreating with a female that James Lindsay could do in this lifetime that will remove the stain from his mental homoerotica and homosexual self. It is him being basically a creation of out of anti-Marxism and everything else that guy's done in his life. He is the definition of what it means to be spiritually gay. James Lindsay is not to be listened to, not to take advice from. He's a bad actor, every which way around. And I wish I could remember the name of the publication that he did this to. But James Lindsay lied to a Christian publication, reworded, and he changed a bunch of it, but he reworded a bunch of he reworded, I think, a bunch of different pages from Karl Marx. I don't remember what specific book it was from, but some documentation from Karl Marx, reworded it, lied to a Christian publication, then posted it under the guise of he was posting for a pro-Christian national position, then turned around, then laughed at that publication for allowing him to publish on there and posted, and then saying, look how they're woke right. Look at this article. But it was the one that he wrote, that he published, that he changed the language for, that he lied to get in there in the first place. Literally being everything that we can't stand, a subversive individual who will get into these arenas and corrode them from the inside out. Not to be listened to. James Lindsay is a very disgusting person. He's getting close to being on like Sam Cedar level of just like, don't even engage, like don't even say the name. Like, let him die in darkness on the internet. Mr. Depp, late. That's wild. Banned. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Tex. This American Informer. Could literally not remember the name of it. But then he uses that as like a crutch for his argument of like, and this is why. Look at the woke right. They're literally writing Marx. They're just to fit it, just changing out the identity groups. James Lindsay, go home. But bringing you up to the Problem Solvers Caucus, this is the group of Republicans who are here to betray you. Do you feel it? Can you feel the knife in your back? Have you removed it yet? If you're like me, I'm going to just leave it there. If I leave it there, maybe they won't do it next time. It's bound to happen again. This is the Problem Solvers Caucus, per AF Post, who have demanded Trump provide legal protection to millions of immigrants. And no, this is not a list of just congressmen. This is a list of Republican members. And as you can see, I have to scroll down. I guess not even that far. But regardless, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 Republican members of our Congress, of our government, who want to betray the American people. And of course, Mike Lawler presents himself again. Mr. I want to ban the Bible. I don't even know who this is. Who is this? Is this supposed to be Don Bacon? This doesn't look like Don Bacon. This looks like someone who's not an American, though. And just in essence. And I have a clip here from Mike Lawler talking about this. Or not a clip. I had one, but it'd be pointless to even play it. He said he's just basically saying he's not pushing for mass amnesty, even though he is. And what's this about Mike Lawler? And again, not only did he vote to ban portions and verses from the Bible because he deemed them anti-Semitic due to the IHRA working definition of such, but also Mike Lawler's top donors were, oh wow, of course, the AIPAC committee, the Israeli Subversion Fund, private equity firms, Blackstone and Apollo. That's crazy. Wow, major real estate mega-corpos. And did you look at that? Wow. Financial firms like Elliott Management and Fortress Investment Group. That's awesome, dude. It sounds like that is who has the American people's back. Received nearly $500,000 from AIPAC, and now he wants you to keep the immigrants here. How people like this stay in Congress, I have no idea. But if I was to like even halfway do anything, political or anybody else for that matter, it's let's go and find like the most racist stuff he said on the internet and act like that's the worst thing of all time. It's just like it's like so old. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it not gotten so old that like, are we just not entirely like as a group of people just past it now? Like, to me, like when I see all these people like shaking their head and being like, when they see the Clubacaust stuff, it's like, to me, like I'm tired of that being the reaction. Like fuck these people, dude. Like I am still like I'm still just like I'm irritated at the fact when you see people like Steiny and like Mark Shapiro. Thank you, Paul Singer. Where is it just doesn't go the other way around. And it's not going to change by people apologizing. It's not going to change even by Nick saying like, well, I understand Tate's on this thing. It's not a dig at Nick, but it's just to say, dude, like, I don't care. Don't care. It is as simple as saying, I do not worship the Holocaust. Stop demanding I have the same beliefs as you. Okay, let me use the left's argument too. There's a thing called freedom of religion. And now we'll use the working definition of the left, which is Muslims can believe in whatever they want, and so therefore Christians can believe in whatever they want. And I believe in whatever the hell I want, which is Christianity. And in no way, shape, or form is there a tenet or a sacrament where I must go and kiss the wall or get on my hands and knees and be dog walked by a bunch of people who heard some words played in a song in a club in Florida. But it's not even just that. It's obviously everything else that goes with it. It's Jeremy Boring today, like years later, bringing it up for the 10th time in an argument he already lost that no one even wants to have the conversation anymore, dude. It's like, you lost. Pack it up, shut up, and go home. Like, if you want to say all this and talk all this, it's like, join the left. The right is done with that. The new right, I should say. But I want to harness a bit of that Gen Z energy, which is like, I literally just do not care. I do not care. I will not be made to sit here and feel sorry or apologize or have to say, well, I know it's not everyone, but there are exceptions. I get it. Done playing that game, dude. Done. And if you need certain things like that explained to you, well, for one, I think that's a bit of a tell, but also it's like, I'm not playing by the rules. I'm not playing by the rules that they are putting in front of me, and I don't think that you guys should either. I don't think anybody should be playing by those rules anymore. Exactly. Don't care. Didn't ask. Nope. What's that? Wow, that's crazy. Holocaust Remembrance Day. That's awesome, dude. Get that shit out of my face. Mean it. I mean it. Where was it? Where was Israel on their hands and knees, like in shock when Vivek and Elon were attacking all Christianity and Americans on Christmas? Probably trying to bomb Iran, but it doesn't go both ways, and so I'm not returning the favor. I'm not. It's the same thing, which is like you know, like when you're like in a marriage, right? Like you're in a marriage and you go like, listen, like you can want me to be a beta male all you want. Right? You want me to get on my hands and knees and do all this? Nope. Not doing it. You can expect me to all you want. Not doing it. I won't be the one to file the divorce papers because I believe in the marriage covenant. But each their own. And it's just to say, you got to stand up for yourself, dude. And that's what a lot of people like literally aren't doing. And that's what I mean too, also beyond that, which is like part of the element in like the locking in and the looks maxing is the charisma. It is the having the ability to be confident and convicted in your beliefs. But in order to have that, you have to have something to believe in. I think a lot of people just need to do some soul searching, to be quite honest with you. But that's the problem solvers. Problem solvers. I'm sorry, like, I don't think that any of us said that was a problem. And if you're going to solve the problem of illegal immigrants, how you can solve it is by taking them here and putting them over there. It's just, we know all this already. But this was one of the next ones. This is from Nick Fuentes and Joel Owen with the talking about the sexual harassment meme. I thought that was funny. Did it work? Looks like I'm having a little bit of internet issues too. So if there's anything wrong with the stream, just try to refresh it, I guess. I don't know what's going on with my internet. But going into the sense of more of these rules for thee, not for me, but a pragmatic reality that a lot of people have to live in. Here's this.
It's like a deep frustration with the fundamental inequalities and qualitative differences. Like lookism is an unexpected one because lookism says that your looks matter so much and you can't control them. Mm-hmm. And think about kind of the blank slate equivalent is, well, if you're confident and if you go to the gym, you too can get a hot girlfriend. And for some people, it's like, you will never get a hot girlfriend.
That little meme is so good where it's like the ugly fat guy who's balding, who leans in and it's this woman working and he says like, hey, you look cute today. And she's like calling like HR. And then the good looking guy leans in to her office and says the same thing. But that's so true, you know, just to prove the point that like, it's not just your behaviors or.
Well, I'm going to assume so because Kaiser Rev clipped it today. And he's pretty spot on with it. And I'll tell this to you guys too. Kaiser Rev is my favorite. He's my guy. He's my favorite Nick Clipper. He follows me too. I think he's the best one out of all of them.
Or the words that you choose to say. It's like, hey, this Adonis looking fellow just complimented a woman and she took it as a compliment. This not so Adonis looking guy is like, and it's sexual harassment, you know,
Yes.
like, and it's strictly the only difference between them is looks. Of course, we know that that's true.
But what the incels will say is that, you know, they'll say, well, you got to.
Oh, come on now. Is X going to do me like this, man? Minute and 18? Is that where we are? Guess we have to refresh, man.
It's like a deep harassment. But what the incels will say is that,
come on now.
you know, they'll say, well, you got to improve yourself. You know, you got to go to the gym, eat right, get a good haircut, get cool clothes. But what incels will do is show a picture of like a guy who's like 6'5" with broad shoulders and a great face who doesn't work out.
Right.
And then they'll show a guy who's 5'6", balding, no chin, but he's jacked. And they'll say, well, he skipped genetics day at the gym. You know? He didn't go to,
That's funny.
You know, but it speaks to the fact that there are some things that are unchangeable and immutable. And as Americans who are turbo liberals, we hate that.
We do hate it.
Because we like the idea that I could be what I want to be.
Anything you want.
I'm a product of choice and of my own actions, and I control my destiny. And the same applies to feminism and sexism. The same.
And this is a great point that they bring up too, which is like the genetic lottery playing a massive role in the dating marketplace. And I know there's an element of just in general, I think women do it a lot worse than men. But you do have this issue where, you know, women overrate themselves, and then you have men. Like men do it both ways. They do, like, they underrate and overrate occasionally. But this is to say, like, you know, I think for most of us, we understand this just intuitively. I think it's a very commonsensical thing. It just is literally just natural. Genetics do play a massive role, and I think it looks like my internet's suffering really badly. Hopefully, it doesn't affect the stream too much. I apologize if there's any really major issues for you guys. On my end, it looks like it's running just fine. But you have this issue, right? And so for a lot of guys, I think there is this element too where they see that and they go, what is the point of even trying? Why would I try? Because they look at it and they might see like maybe they're receding or specifically the height element, I think maybe the biggest one, where you have a lot of these guys who are like very, very, very short. Regardless of that though, I think there are many people who are probably here who can recognize the fact that they didn't lose the genetic lottery and are simply only being held back by the fact that they themselves lack discipline. And I think that's actually a lot more true than it is not. And I'm telling you, out of my own group of guys, my own like close friends that are IRL friends, they are quite literally a lot of them just like, you need to put some work in, man. You could have so much better odds and better chances if you just put the work in. I have one brother, and hopefully you'll hear this because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. You don't know exactly how I'm talking about him. He's got, I'm 6'6" even. I wish I was taller, dude. Trust me. It pains me to be average, but I have but Nick is spot on in the element that for some guys, they see like the chin. For some people, they know that there's nothing like that stopping them. It's just quite simply the fact that they're not doing it. But the point I'm trying to make with this friend, it's IRL, he's got super long dark hair, dude. Super long dark hair, like thick hair, dude. Hair I'll never have, right? Like I'm bald. I got the testosterone. I got the classic, you know, I got the classic dad, dude. Stereotypical. It happens, man. But my friend has, like, he's won the genetic lottery. But, well, that's kind of sounds gay. Pause. He would be a really good looking guy if he literally would try. If he would try. And not even to say that. He does try sometimes. But if he took it seriously to the point in which I think that he needs to. Because, and the reason I'm saying this is because there's been a lot of times where he's brought up where he kind of feels like he's lagging behind, where he's not married yet, despite a lot of us being around, being married. He goes, you know, and he's like, I need to start hanging out with you guys less, yada, yada, you know, because I need to start spending time like hanging out with the girls. Because if I'm spending time with 3 married dudes all the time, he's like, I'm never going to get married. And then, you know, it's like, we get that. I get that. I think that's fair. But to me, which is like, I'm sitting there going like, bro, you would have a problem of abundance. You would be able to have a lot of girls and it wouldn't even be hard if you just spent a year locking in and just crunching weight. Double chin, gone. And this dude's a little bit taller than me. I think he's like 6'1", 6'2". You're in. You're good. You're fine. But I will be fair. I do think on the elements of guys who are short that it does become a bit harder. Not to say it's over by any means, not at all. But it is to say you should be realistic with yourself. And it is to say, like, you know, there are some basic limitations, which is if I was a 5'5" guy, I would only be pursuing women who were 5'5" and shorter. And if he was even at that, I think I would even limit it below that. I think it would be like, I would try to go for girls who are like, you know, 5'2" or shorter. I would want to maintain the height advantage. I wouldn't want, and these things do matter, you know, they definitely do. And you don't want to ever be in a situation where like your wife puts on the heels and you're in your flats and she's got 2 inches on you. But these things matter. And I will say this, and I will be very blunt. We're not going to be able to save everybody. And we never were going to be able to save everybody. But for those who can reach the life raft, please grip it as hard as you possibly can and come on board. That is my advice. It's spot on there from Nick and Joe Rogan. I like both of those guys. Get a girl that's 4 inches taller. Yeah. I don't know about that one. It's funny. He says, I'm 5'7" and most girls are shorter than me. And if they're taller, why would I want that ape? That's funny. I went to a very athletic school in college. And so like there were a lot of like tall girls. I went to the Ohio State University. I have to say it like that. If there's any Michigan people in here, dude, I hope that hurt. And while we're on that, like I wish I could offer better advice, and I probably could in a long form. Like I think it's just better. I think the advice applied broadly also isn't helpful either, because I do think there are a lot of guys who are in very different and contextualized situations that might need different advice or might need to hear different things. But overall, going to the gym is like everybody should be doing that, even the women. There was another element of some like beef with the drama I guess we can take a look at. And this is stemming from comments between Destiny, Asmongold, and Hassan. It's kind of a little bit of a tiff blowing up right now between the three of them. And it was weird to me because I saw the headline and it was like Asmongold defends Hassan. And so apparently Asmongold and Hassan are like going against Destiny. And so I played a little bit of it and listened to it. And largely, it's because Destiny is angry at Hassan for going to China for something. And so Destiny's claiming that he's like works for the CCP. Asmongold defends that. And then, so we'll watch Asmongold kind of defend this in the short clip here, but we'll watch Destiny's response after. Because what Destiny compares these instances to is just like, I don't understand how he's comparing them. And so he's kind of comparing two inflammatory statements about that pertain to violence in the political realm. And he's trying to draw like that they're like similar. And you'll see what I'm saying as we watch this. Let's let the video explain. I can't talk good. I can only read good. And if I can't read nothing, I can't say nothing. Here's the video.
This is what Destiny does, mate. This is some other bullshit that has nothing to do with this. It has nothing to do with this. This has nothing to do with what I said. You're bringing in something totally irrelevant so you can make an argument for something that you said that was stupid. Yes, you are a fucking idiot for going out there and telling anybody that they should be bullying and harassing a person in real life, triangulating their location from a live stream, and then sniping them in it. You are a fucking moron. You're advocating for potential violence, and you are asking for trouble.
So that's what it is. And I'll be honest, I don't really see much at all from Destiny anymore, because the dude blocked me like 3 years ago for like, dude, the slightest pushback on something. Like, I didn't even call him gay or nothing. I just gave him like the slightest pushback, blocked. Like, okay, dude, we could have been friends, dude. We could have streamed again. No, I'm just joking. I would never do that. Pause. But if you can't see it in here, I'll read a little bit. But it's more important to just read what Asmongold's saying, because what he's reacting to here is Destiny quote tweeting his response. So Asmongold's responding to an earlier tweet from Destiny, and it says, "It's obviously a bad idea to advocate for people to track down and engage in a hostile confrontation with a streamer in real life." So since I haven't seen the original comments from Destiny, I'll just say this. It appears that Destiny said something to the effect of, probably in reference to Hassan, to confront somebody in person because of something Hassan did or said. So Asmongold responding to that's what I just said. So Destiny responds back saying, "Telling people they're not welcome in your political movement equals hostile confrontation? ? He says, "Mate, you literally advocate for capital punishment for every political figure and illegal immigrant and other nations' civilian population that you don't like. You have zero room to talk here unless you think the entire world of politics is just an unserious playground for you to venture into to make money." So that is the overall of what Aspen is talking about here, responding to. We could have shared a corner chair. What do they call that chair?
Nobody should be advocating for this. Even if you disagree with Hassan, even if you think Hassan is a piece of shit, nobody should be going around and saying this. And these weird rationalizations about how, oh, well, actually, because you said this other thing, it's okay for me to be retarded. No, that's not how it works. It's not. I'm sorry. This is it. It's constantly, every single time, but what about this other thing? This is Reddit tier false equivalency logic. This doesn't work. It's just stupid. Everything about this is stupid. It's 5-year-old logic. Yeah. No, you can't go out and harass people in real life. Like, anybody advocating for that is wrong. Duh. How many times,
Which it is. I mean, like, when you just think about the recent instance that happened with the Meta glasses and Nick, SNEAKO, and I think Clavs was there too. And I mean, they felt uncomfortable. And I think even the guy even sent in a super chat to Nick's show later on, not yesterday or 2 days ago, saying something to the effect of like, "Hey, I wasn't trying to be hostile. I'm like a big fan or whatever." Like, you know, something to that effect. I can't remember what the super chat was, but the guy was like, still like showing up and stream sniping us with these weird Meta glasses on. Like, nobody knows what to think. And it's very uncomfortable. And we know that it's a very charged environment right now. So when strangers walk up to you and act like they know you, it's a very uncomfortable feeling, especially when they were, you know, and then I think to that effect, they were irritated. SNEAKO was irritated. They moved them because the security didn't act fast enough, which I think is a good call. Obviously, it's a bad idea. Obviously, it's a terrible idea. Destiny should not be encouraging his own following to go and find Hassan or stream snipe Hassan. That is a awful idea. Now, you can tell Hassan he's not welcome in the political movement without personally confronting him. You know, you might get blocked from Hassan. You can make shadow accounts, whatnot. There's ways that you can get the message across. Destiny can make a video about it that Hassan will more than likely react to. There's a way to get the message across. It doesn't require that, right? And that's just, again, unnecessary, just retarded stuff. This is more of the idea of like the leftists fighting the battle because they're all stuck in Star Wars. They're all the resistance. It's like, dude, please stop. It's like, please come back to reality. 48 likes, 96 watching. Do something. Sly Ghostish says. Cannot speak. Yeah, make sure you smash the like button. Helps tremendously. But what I have is the response of Destiny here. And this is Destiny responding to this. Or more, I should say, the longer form of it.
This is kind of bull.
And what he's going to compare this to, though, is what we covered from Asmongold previously, which was him saying to withhold his vote and telling his audience withhold your vote unless JD or Trump or someone from the administration holds Tim Walz accountable and holds him true to treason and for capital punishment. This is the clip here.
This is kind of bull. I should be able to talk some shit about Asmongold getting killed if he can say shit like that. This is kind of, the asymmetry is very fucking annoying here. It's annoying because, like,
who you're
this is what I don't like. This is us, the commentators, okay? Asmongold, Hassan, Destiny, whatever.
Bro,
and then
Destiny
this here is like
months.
Politics. And it's like, this is like, it's a fake world. Nothing is real. We can say whatever, do whatever, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as Destiny's like, somebody could fuck this guy up for saying this shit. Now these guys lose their fucking mind over it. Like, this is not a fake world. This is not like just pretend. I don't like how streamers engage with politics like it's just a pretend world. Like, I have a feeling that if I were to say, I think somebody should, like, execute Asmongold, I think he would lose his shit. I think he would get mad at me. But, like, when he's saying shit like this, it's totally A-okay.
If JD Vance does not push for treason with capital punishment against Tim Walz, do not vote for him. If Trump does not deliver that, do not vote for him.
Like, you're saying that this guy...
I'm only breaking to listen to him to make the point that Destiny is trying to compare that him telling his audience or whoever to go stream snipe Hassan is in any way comparable to what Asmongold is saying here in terms of what he expects from his elected government to do in terms of justice. It's like they're not even close to being comparable. And so Destiny is going on this tirade, and I'm bringing this up because people listen to this. Like, I think right now on this clip here, 6.3 thousand people listening to Destiny on YouTube. These people still have audiences. They still hold weight. As much as me and you don't like them, they are still pushing these ideas. It's like, where do you think the left is getting their calling cards from? But it's just a retarded argument. It's just it's so retarded. And trust me, we weren't going to stay there very long. Going into something that's actually was a lot more based, and I was very surprised, was Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly earlier today took aim at Natalie Portman for being, quote, a rich bitch. I kid you not. Take a listen to this based.
We don't give a shit what Natalie Portman thinks or doesn't think about this. I'm just showing you her fake fucking tears. I mean, like, where were her tears for Laken Riley? I don't remember her tearful video over Jocelyn Nagare down in Texas. Did you cry for her, you rich bitch who's protected by guards and fences and multi-million-dollar estates from having to deal with anything like what these Border Patrol agents are going through or these ICE agents are going through in order to protect people who don't have your money and means and resources? Tell it to Jocelyn's mother as you cry while these guys are trying to deport molesters of children. You fucking idiot, know-nothing Hollywood starlet. We don't give a shit what Natalie Portman...
I forget his name too, man. I always forget Destiny's son's name. Yes, she is. But isn't that something, man? Isn't that something? Congrats, Megyn Kelly, for finding yourself. Thank you for standing up for yourself for once. But what is it for? It's to respond to what I would only imagine she might have woken up to. Megyn Kelly, she's scrolling her Instagram feed. She follows all these celebrities. She says she doesn't like celebrity culture, but she watches TikTok and goes on Instagram every day. She's checking Ariana Grande's story. I wonder if there's something here, just because that's how the female mind works. And she probably clicked on Natalie Portman's story. So what she said about ICE and said, I'm going to the studio right now. That's how women are, man. They just see stuff like this. It's crazy. Asmon's base doctors, it is a little crazy because he's got some still has some odd liberal tendencies that show themselves here and now. Is it Nathan? Nathan's his son name? Thank you, Tix. I don't know. Did Tix just lie to me again? He's trying to get one on me because I'm too young to get the references. But Asmongold being based is legitimate. And I think that's massive. I mean, again, I could be wrong about this, but as far as I understand by the numbers, Asmongold is the, biggest streamer on planet Earth. And if that's the case, that guy pushing his message out to all of his audience, which I would have to imagine is primarily male, there's no way it's anywhere close to anything or anything less than like an 85-15 split. He's telling them, if we don't get justice for what Tim Walz did with Minnesota, and we don't see them holding him to capital punishment and treason, we're not voting. Good. And here we are. The kids, the youth, the younglings are screaming, do it, drop the hammer. And it's the old man at the execution block. It's Trump. His hair wisps, blows in the wind. He says, I want to. The people demand it. But what will the New York Times say about me? And then he lets go. He frees the Somalians. The people are crying. It's a joke, but it's not a joke. It's what it's like, man. Nathan Bonnell III. He literally he gets banned off of X like every other day. I used to follow him. They don't want him on there because he is a griper, so he's pushing things that people don't like. On illegal immigrants, though, I don't like Eric Prince whatsoever, but these comments were made, and I think he has got a point in this. But here's a minute clip from Real America Voice with Eric Prince, and just take a listen to this.
The other thing I would add to what Mike was saying, all his good points, is to go after the banking of anybody that's here illegally. You can sick the compliance officers of all these banks. Instead of them going after American citizens, they can actually debank, and they can be incentivized to do so. That the bank either pays an enormous fine for banking illegals, or they seize those accounts, alert DHS, and the money, part of that money that's been here accumulated while working illegally, can be repatriated to those people once they're back in the country after they pay it.
And that's the point. Why haven't we done that already? Why haven't we figured out who all these illegal aliens' bank accounts are, and why not just? Yeah. I wish we would deport them, dude. But I got to get past all these pansies in uniforms, dude, who are crying and saying, "Won't you think about the children?" I am. I'm thinking about my children. Get out of the way. Well, don't let me do it. There's a reason why they didn't deputize people across the nation. Because if they would have deputized people, they would have got real men getting up and going, "Oh, we're getting these people out of here." And that's not what they want. Yeah, total account seized 0. Total accounts that will be seized 0. But you sit and think, it's like, okay, so here's another path. Here's another path. Maybe this will appease all the whinging women. Shut all the bank accounts down. Find them out. Figure them out. Shut it down. Force them to have nothing. Force them to pay cash. Keep all their money in pillows and stuff. Do things. But again, why aren't they doing it? Why aren't they doing it? Offensively accurate deportation unit? I would, dude. I would. And I'm kind of afraid of how excited I would be in doing it, to be honest with you. But they don't want that. They don't want that. And Donald Trump is, by all accounts, whether indirectly or directly, he is carrying out the next evolution of replacement. And he is right now standing in the way of what could be getting done. But I want to bring that video up just because the idea stuck out, which is that not a path? Has that not been explored? And instead of like immediately backing down and going, oh, well, maybe we should give them path to citizenship. Like maybe we, I don't know, shut their bank accounts down. I'm just like, I know it's going to piss me off, and it's probably going to piss you guys off too. As we get further in this year, we're going to be having more conversations, and more people, more senators, more congressmen are going to be turning coat and going, all right, let's talk about the path to citizenship, and we'll put these restrictions down. Now we're not even talking about deportations anymore. Just a joke. It's gonna be done. I guess it's just delayed right now. But moving over to Candace Owens. Candace Owens, there's an idea running around, and credit to House Leotardo for sending this in. But he sent me this post from SPECO, or Spexo, I should say. I'll put it on screen here for you. And that is this, which is he poses the idea that he thinks that all what she is doing right now, because she's been posting some wild ass tweets, is for plausible deniability. And he says, quote, "Your Honor, my client was not defaming anyone. She's just genuinely retarded." And so what they post here from Candace Owens, and she got community noted on this one, it's not present right now, but she's talking about back online after the internet blackout. "I grew up in Connecticut and have truly never seen an ice like this ever. The temperature is 30 degrees, but the ice on our treetops is not melting at all. Now, obviously 32 degrees is what water freezes at. Never seen anything like this. Anybody else?" So is there an element of this? Is there an element of Candace Owens is putting some small pieces out here so they can backtrack it and go, look, she had said this. Does this not clearly meet the standard of being blatantly retarded, Your Honor? Your Honor, is she not? Like, Your Honor, let's make Candace Owens take an IQ test. She gets a 49. Your Honor, clearly we can't. She's going to win the argument. And I'm going to bring attention to one of these accounts. There's an account that Nick put attention to, and it's been posting bangers. This one came out this morning. Just says debacle. You guys tell me when you hear debacle said correctly for the first time in this 40-second clip, because this blew me away. And it's like, I've listened to a lot of Candace Owens and I wasn't even hearing this.
So it was a philosophy class called Senior Sem, and he used to come in every day with a debacle, and he would ask us to just work through the philosophical question. I remember that whole debacle, this debacle with her earrings. The Hamptons debacle came up, the Brett Kavanaugh hearings and debacle involved in this entire debacle, okay? The FISA debacle. His recent non-vote on the FISA debacle, Kanye West debacle, Christ is King debacle to Christ is King debacle. That's the Jeffrey Epstein debacle. And Jeffrey Epstein, this whole debacle could never had any sort of a debacle ever in my life. I think that these people are not humans, that they're sentinels that maybe look like humans.
What a debacle. Anybody else feel the same way?
So it's a philosophy.
I was cherry on the top by adding that in there too. Debacle. Like debacle. And this is just like, it's one of like 20 words now that you can find on this account. You just go to Candace Owens trying to read on X. I got a bunch of followers now. But like, it's just each of these words are just these long compilations of her being unable to say these words. It's just crazy, dude. It's crazy. Debacle, dude. Oh, it's such a debacle, man. This Candace Owens debacle. I went to the Candace Owens Quality Leering Center. Now I can read good. We're keeping it casual, guys. We're having a slow day. Slow news day at the office, fellas. Yeah, yes, you can ask a question. Yep, you can. I sit my white ass down when a black woman is speaking. Just present a slideshow of her crazy eyes to the judge. Bro, they're just gonna play that like, I'm not even doing it because I'm not gonna get clipped. I will not allow myself to get clipped doing that. But that video of her doing like the sex look is just crazy. Go to the Berry. Off to the Berry. Yeah. Yeah, it's because she hangs around John Mappin too much and she twists her accent while she's trying to force herself to say smart words. This is one thing I wanted to cover yesterday, which was black people trying to fight clavicular. I'm going to assume so, but it says chocolate peddlers try to fight clavicular over the N-word. And so you're not allowed to talk about it clip. Is that what it is? I'm afraid to search anything on X anymore. To be quite honest with you, dude. I'm afraid. I don't fear much, but that thing, it scares me. And it's just the explore button on X. Rampant pornography here, this way. Hurry along. Hurry along. Jewish Productions, just this way, sir. I can put it off screen. I can look for it. Hold on. I'll do it. I just look up Candace Owens' face. It's gotta be. Right? You would think. Oh no. I should type in Candace Owens' eyes. Selling candy at 30, man. They're keeping it a buck, dude. Why am I not finding the clip now? He just sent it to me. This one?
You don't get that.
Yeah, it's this one. This is the one I wasn't going to do on stream.
Ask those questions. What's wrong with you, Mom? Why are you so scared?
Just play this in between like every single one of those like word clips, and the judge is like, "Oh, we're good, dude. We're good. We're good. No, she wins. She wins. She wins." They're like, "Just turn it off, please. Just turn that off. Get that out of my courtroom." Thank you, Tiggs. I appreciate it. Hold on, let me get off of this. Where were we at? We did Megyn Kelly. We did Eric Prince. We looked at Candace. We looked at Candace reading good. Where were we at? Oh, yeah. Blacks trying to fight clavicular. That's where we were at. Yeah, it is terrifying, dude. And because in a certain element, you go like, women know what they're doing, right? And you got to ask yourself, like, how much of that was intentional? How much of that was like full blown intentional? How much did it just come naturally? And but what we have is this. And so I mentioned this yesterday. I wanted to cover it today because I've not seen it at all. But this is what gave Nick the response to say, like, listen, dude, you have a target on your back. It's probably not the smartest thing to consistently put yourself out here. Because, you know, people are going to try to knock you down a peg, right? And especially with clavicular, the way he talks, what he's about. And you know what it's got to, you know, when beta males see clavicular, right, that what it probably inspires inside of them, anger, you know, envy, jealousy, etc. So, you know, like people are probably looking to get a punch in on him, dude, if not worse.
Yeah, it's like all bark, no bite. For real.
They tell he got out of jail if you didn't know, by the way. He got out of jail from the Philippines.
If you ever got in a kerfuffle, I got you. I'm really high, but I'll do what I can.
No one is fighting them.
Huh?
No one is fighting them.
We're just popping shots.
But we're ready to leave, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, let's go. We're not scared.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Joe. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell he's not helping.
Yeah, bro. I want to know why you guys
Oh, me a shit racist, bro.
Yo, man, come on, let's go this way. Let's go this way.
You know what that is? Saying nigga and shit. Call me a nigga.
Yo, bro. Go ahead with that.
Call me a nigga.
Go ahead with that.
Call me one.
Go ahead with that.
Go ahead, y'all. Please. I'm asking y'all niggas. Go ahead. From nigga to nigga. From good brother. Go ahead, bro.
Ain't no brother shit, man.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, good idea, that black screen.
Bro, come on, man. Bro, go ahead with that shit, bro.
Go pedal your candy
Go
somewhere
ahead,
else,
bro. Go ahead. I'm asking y'all niggas. Go ahead, bro.
I don't like candy.
Bro, you ain't got no gun, bro.
Bro, I got
my bad, guys. I turned you off.
anything you want. Anything you want.
Miami, you got one gun.
Come on. Come on. We chilling, bro. And I got thousands of niggas gotta come
My
down.
daughter black and my son black. He talking about
Not
black
even
people,
speaking
my
English.
kids. Fuck that bitch ass nigga.
All
Call
right,
me
man.
a nigga hoe. On my mama.
All right, brother.
Call
You
me a hoe,
say
nigga.
what you have to
You talking
say.
about my kids,
Go
nigga.
ahead, man.
When you say black people, bitch
ahead,
ass
man.
nigga, you scared now, but gonna get internet. Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad I don't live in the city anymore.
We'll bring the whole man and you for you. Hey, look. These niggas, we'll bring the whole man for you, bro.
The fuck? You're not gonna do
Bro,
it.
listen, you a trick, nigga. Go ahead.
But like, what did he do? I was hoping I would have known, would have been given a hint of like what Clavicular has done or would have done to encourage this response. But as you and I know, maybe nothing encouraged this reaction. What is with these people installing chocolate bars? I don't know. It was a big thing in Columbus around me too. We just tell them like, hey, I don't got nothing. They say as I'm walking out of Walmart with 5 bags in each hand. I have no money, sir. I'm sorry. I got plastic only, dude. All I got's cards. Sorry, man. There's a lot of tricks you learn living in the city, man.
Pussy buying that. You a millionaire buying pussy. You a trick, boy.
Go ahead,
How
y'all.
you gonna be million buying pussy?
We chilling. Bro. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Please. Go ahead. No, it's fine, bro.
Let's
I'm
go.
gonna let you know, bro. You talk about black people,
get that
talk about my
alive?
kids.
Dog, that one guy has said the same line 20 times. Man, you a man. You bad. All right, dude.
Keep
Now you know that from now on.
It has to be his bodyguard. I'm assuming so. Either his or Vitali's, one of the two. Looks to be Clavs. He's standing close to Clav.
Next time we come in 30, 50 deep, see what you gonna do then.
Okay. We'll do the same.
Yeah, you better bring more security next time. I respect you though. But fuck that nigga, because you know what he
my
doing.
brother.
You talking about my kids. You talking about black people, you talking about my
Salute,
kids.
my boy.
So next time you on that screen, you say something about black people, you talking about my kids.
All right, come on, y'all.
You know what I do about my kids.
It's okay.
My boy.
I don't give a fuck about that
Control
racist
your
shit,
man, bro. Please.
I don't play about
But
that racist shit.
he's not racist, though.
He's not
That
racist.
bitch ass nigga.
He's not racist.
Don't make shit about him. Why he saying it?
That's what I'm saying. Him.
Why he saying it?
He's not racist. He's chilling. Yo, he's
21st
chilling.
century, they still saying racist.
That's a good one. That's a good one, dude. I never even heard that one before. You got to change? I was going to ask you the same thing. That's good, dude. I don't know why it's getting me so good. Bro, they hold the bucket out. I'm reaching in. Hey, whoa. Hey, no mind if I do. I'll take 10. That's hilarious, dude. It's funny. It's funny. Hey, sir, we're here trying to help them. How do I sign up? How do I sign up? I got kids who need help too. Let me know when you're separating the earnings. I'll be there to collect mine. P.O. box is fine. You can just drop it in.
Listen, come on. Bro. My brother, come on, man.
Bro, we're just gonna keep.
Come on.
Yeah, let's go, guys. We're just gonna keep barking. Come on.
Let's go.
Don't touch me, bro.
It's good.
Don't follow
They're just gonna keep barking, bro. All bark, no bite, bro. Fuck it. All bark, no bite. All bark, no bite. All bark, always, bro. All bark, no bite.
Of course, Vitaly gets it going again as soon as they're like across the street. Oh, dude. I will say, man, Clav, saw some disappointing stuff earlier from Clav today. He apparently met up with David Grutman. It's one of these like, moguls, like club moguls or something. Some tall Albanian security guards. Yeah, that would work. But he's very intentional. He's very intentional. Yeah, I'd not seen that video before. I thought it assumed it had been much worse, actually. But regardless, it looks like it was unprovoked though. They like walked out of Chipotle and they were like harassing them. So I don't really know what occurred there. But the point being, largely, is like Clavicular does need to watch his back. I think that goes for basically probably any particularly like people like Nick Shirley or probably Tyler Oliveira would be someone who would also that would match that. You need to be careful. You need to be intelligent about this. And speaking about Tyler Oliveira, we'll watch a clip of him next. But on what I was saying about Clavs, he's made mention of this many times, so it's not a surprise, and it shouldn't be a surprise. Maybe people weren't aware of it, so I'll tell it to him like this. Clavicular is very dispositioned against politics and has been since he's kind of been on the map and on the scene. And he's been a lot more outspoken even since the Clubacaust that he is not interested in politics. He does not want to be involved in politics. And he's getting kind of clowned upon right now because he had a little clip going viral where he's talking to his audience, where he talks about how he had the call with David Grutman or Groutman, however you say it, and how he wants to get back in and be allowed in these clubs. And he's saying like, I never wanted to be in politics. I don't want to be a political figure. And so that's kind of like what, that's what his prerogative is. And so I disagree. I think he should be obviously striving for much better than what he is. But what I will say is this. That's an element that he is clearly gaining influence and affluence from. And far be it from me to tell somebody not to continually collecting power levels. Albeit, as much as I disagree with some of the stuff that he does, we do need more people who have influence that are going to be, white people, right? The only issue is I'm convincingly or increasingly being more convinced that Clavicular may ultimately be only like a temporary kind of like a good, kind of like somebody like a Pearl Davis, which is like, it's good when she's on like these one thing very specific, but in a lot of other elements, it's like really not worth your time listening to. And that's kind of have a bad feeling Clavicular might fall into that. So hopefully he still ascends, rooting for him. But if he's very intentionally not wanting to be around politics and doesn't have any kind of greater drives and just mogging, then he's no different than the mice in the Mouse Utopia experiments, and just being a beautiful one. And that ultimately doesn't help anybody. But speaking of Tyler Oliveira had a couple of clips that went viral. And for one, he's in Canada exploring the insane population density of the Sikh population and the Indians there. But also, additionally, what he has even more insane is he literally records himself being smuggled, or the beginning process thereof of being smuggled across the United States-Canadian border. We have two we're going to watch from Tyler Oliveira that are just insane, and they're his like little promo things here too. It is true. I'm not really expecting much with brains, but just to say like his consistent push for not want to be involved in politics, I think he's made it clear like he just wants to be in other elements and not be bothered with that kind of stuff. So just don't expect Clavicular to be like the Aryan Chad that I think people are making him out to be. It's more of a projection to me. But rooting for him all the same. But here's Tyler Oliveira. So this is the first one. Dude, forgive me. I'm catching up to me, man. Energy drink ran out. I guess not. I have a little bit. We are good. We are good. No faltering. My soldiers march forward. So this is inside Canada's Indian invasion. This is like the first element. This is like the first portion. This part's just kind of funny. The second part is just insane. So here's the first part.
Why so many Punjabis here in Brampton? It's like home. This is Brampton, Canada's Little India, where roughly 53% of the entire population is foreign-born, and India is the #1 country of origin. Where are you originally from?
I'm from India.
India. India.
I'm from Punjab.
Punjab. Everyone's from Punjab. From Ghana.
From Sri Lanka.
Jamaica, okay. Is there a large Indian community here in Brampton?
Too much.
Too much? Yeah.
In store, counter, restaurant, movie theater, everywhere.
Why is it so popular for Indians here?
I don't know. It's cheap.
I'm not 100% certain, but a lot of people say it's because the airport's right there. It's been going on for about 40 years.
What do you do for work?
Truck drive.
Drive? Yeah. Have you noticed any big demographic changes here in Brampton?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the Indian migration that's come here recently?
They're okay, but they don't bother me though.
Nice people?
They're good people, actually. I work for them. I have contracts with the buildings.
Okay.
I know a lot of it.
Would you say it's a good place to live?
No.
Not like it used to be.
What happened?
Different cultures come in, they race around like they're in the Indy 500, the insurance rates go up.
For the most part, what's happened is all the good white people have moved out, just kind of us poor white trash left over. I've been waiting in line at a butcher shop. Behind me got served but for me because she was ethnic.
Are people spending their life savings to immigrate here to Canada?
Yes.
How did
What's
you
a
get
good
here?
one?
Student
Left.
visa, work visa?
Yeah, about permit.
Do you think most of the newcomers have assimilated to Canadian culture?
No.
We had one poop on a TTC bus just a couple weeks ago. The Indians are generally a dirty people, but I think we might have the upper class of the Indians here. They don't seem to be eating poo like they do back in their own country. I'm as racist as the next guy, but I'm just grateful for the Indians as opposed to the Muslims or the Africans.
Do you feel like a stranger in your own country here in Brampton?
Absolutely. We got a lot of African immigrants, refugees in our homeless shelter, and I feel bad for the homeless in Brampton because they're out here on the streets living in tents because it's too dangerous to be in our shelters.
So they're afraid to live in the shelters because of the Africans?
Yeah.
What have the Africans done to make them fearful, in your opinion?
Well, it's their cultures. They're okay with raping or stealing. They just have low intelligence. I don't know if you know, if you Google what is the intelligence level of Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, it's under 70.
This guy knows his stuff, dude. He was ready, bro. He sees street This brother sees street interviews on YouTube, and he's like, I wish a wigger would. I wish a wigger would ask me about how I feel about my community, dude. He got his shot.
That's below Down syndrome. Why are we bringing people in here where they could never, ever hold a job? McDonald's is out of their intelligence range. Bringing them here will have to put them on disability for the rest of their life.
That's crazy. Yeah. Hey, we need to import this one. We'll trade. We'll import this one Canadian man. We'll trade you 70,000 Indians. Deal? That's funny. So that's what I was meaning. Like, that one's kind of funny. It's like, haha. The next one, dude, literally insane. And so remember, this is Tyler Oliveira. So this is the guy who's been on the heat streak, which is crazy. That part was funny. But he's been on a heat streak. Absolute heater. We're after 3. He's on fire. He's been on fire. He basically had a big break on the scene for most people when he went to India and showed him eating poop. Let's just call it what it is, and worshiping it and worshiping cows and giving the insight into how a lot of Indian culture is down there. Now, regionally, it's not all of India, but for the most part. Secondarily, he follows up with Nick Shirley on instead of the Somalian fraud in Minnesota, he does a 2-pronged where not only does he look at the Somalian fraud in Columbus, which he didn't spend too much time on, but he also spends time going to, I think it's Kurlis Yol, which is the Hasidic Jewish community of like 44,000 people who are also benefiting from many of the same programs, defrauding the government for millions of dollars and having private buses given to them, etc. And now what's he doing? Well, now he's in Canada. Now he's in Canada showing you just what the population is like in this area. But furthermore, he attempts to get smuggled inside the United States across the Canadian border. Now, this one blew me away. The caption of the video is, I hired a smuggler to sneak me across the U.S.-Canada border. Yeah, the leaked audio of Erika Kirk, we're going to get to that. That is actually the next one, beyond this one. We're going to get to that one. But here's this right here, and what a lovely guy. Tick says Oliveira was a little bit iffy a bit ago. Definitely seems to have turned that around. I didn't even know him until the India video. I'll be completely honest with you. I had no idea who he was until we saw the India video. But he won me over with the India video. I'm like, let's go. And then he did the Nerlens Yol one, and now it's like, you a groiper, dude? Like, this dude a groiper right now? But here's this.
An Indian criminal that runs a human smuggling business, sneaking people across the US-Canadian border for 6,000 Canadian dollars. He advertises his services on Instagram Reels at Sidhu, New York, funneling them to his WhatsApp number in his bio, where he'll then arrange the smuggling logistics.
All right, I'm headed to a one-star hotel to get trafficked by Sidhu into the USA. Obviously, I'm not going to actually enter the USA. Wish me luck. Hopefully, I don't get killed.
Are you with Sadhu? No. Okay. No. No. Only English?
Yes.
You from?
Portugal.
Portugal?
You?
India.
Punjab?
Yeah.
How long you been in Canada?
3 years.
3 years.
Permanent residence. You go to USA legal.
Keep me safe. I want to get this over with. What was your name?
Jasveer.
I trust you. Let's go.
He began speaking Hindi into a translator to explain to me in English exactly how the border crossing is gonna work. First, I had to get picked up by Sidhu's driver, get driven to their safe house near the border, wait until nighttime, and then get driven into America.
Bro, that's gotta be that's not real, dude.
Driven to their safe house near.
That's not real, dude. I refuse to believe that video is
First,
real.
I had to get picked up by Sidhu's driver, get driven to their safe house near the border,
That's
wait
crazy.
until nighttime, and then get driven into America.
What are the chances things go wrong at border?
20%.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, wait, I am come.
Okay. Things are getting shicey. 3 Sikh homies in turbans came out in the middle of Montreal, about 30 minutes away from the border. Praying to God I don't get fucking stabbed.
What's happening? We're going to the apartment. Okay.
Do I just wait here?
Yeah.
How long do I wait?
Night.
Night? Relax here?
Yeah.
How many people are here?
Yeah, this 2, 3.
I'm safe here?
Yeah.
And I'm good to go to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you.
What the
It's terrifying, dude. So they take him to like this dark room and they tell him like to stay in like this back room in some apartment complex. And obviously he's like walking out. But could you imagine that? I mean, that to me is just kind of insane. You're being left off, some random stranger, and now you're in some other person's home who you're not even seeing. You don't even know like if they're aware that you're there. Insane. Now he says that he didn't do it, like he didn't cross, like he didn't break the law and he didn't record doing that. But I am curious, like, did he just like dip out and like run, turn his like GPS on and be like, please come get me, bro? That's still like insane. But moving on to the Erika Kirk, the leaked audio, this has been going around basically for the majority of today. I think it might have even dropped or released early or late last night. But it says leaked audio. And I'm going to pull it up here. There's been multiple of these tweets that I've seen specifically. And I think Candace Owens is the one that dropped it, so forgive me. So that would have happened literally while I was live yesterday. But it's Erika Kirk boasting about, and that's what they say here, but that is not what they call it. Like, so ignore what the caption says completely. And there's been many of these posts that have been saying the same thing. Like, you know, wow, this sounds very disgusting of Erika Kirk. Like, wow, I can't believe she would be saying this. And so just going from this, right? So this post, the quote tweet has like about 7,000 likes. This one's probably has about 7 likes itself too. This seems to be the original. So let's go to the original. How many does the original have? 1.1 million views, 18,000 likes. So let's just take a listen to this, okay? About 3 minutes long. It's not even that's also a good point too. Can't even trust audio anymore. But the accusation is supposedly this leaked audio came 11 days after he was assassinated, and they were going over the numbers of his memorial event. And so this was that conversation, and she's addressing her team.
Hi, everybody. I still love all these emoji Zoom.
Let me know if you want me to boost it up.
Wow. I don't even know where to begin. The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century. Like, it's just insane. We had over 275,000 people that attended, and stadium overflow, Westgate, insane, you guys. And then you have, was it 100 million? You guys that heard the gospel and all about Charlie and all about everything that you guys do, and the hard work of Turning Point USA is insane. We had thousands that were registered to vote.
Missed that.
I think we're at like over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy. But I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the events team, the development team, the graphic design team, the production team. It's just phenomenal. Their incredible work of leading into the memorial. And honestly, a lot of the staff that worked on the memorial, they had 20-hour days for a week during the time of us grieving the loss of my husband. And honestly, I know several staff that didn't even sleep. Again, you guys are breathing angels, and I'm so grateful for all of you. And obviously a huge thank you to the Mosaic team. VI, you guys are 10 out of 10. Like, we have the most incredible team. We just do. And you guys know that, and you guys are all a part of that. And I am so thankful. And if you do have a moment and you run into any of those staff members that you know had a role in this, and you know that they put a lot of their time and effort into it, just say thank you. There's something really special to be seen in moments like this, and it's not easy. I'm speaking from experience. I'm right in the trenches with you guys. And so the fact that you just, a simple thank you. I don't care if any of you have beef with each other from the past or have any issues with someone said something about this or that. Like, if you guys have any of that, please put it to rest. My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead. And it puts life into perspective of how short life is, and relationships, and God puts people in your life for a reason, and it teaches you a lesson, it teaches them a lesson. So if you are going through a time where, just lay it to rest, and we are moving forward, Turning Point USA 2.0 with Charlie in our hearts, and that's what he would want.
The 20 hours a day thing, I mean, she'd probably just being a bit, she's probably just exaggerating it, I would imagine. People probably are putting in like 16-hour days, which probably feel like 25-hour days, even though it's impossible. But this is what people are stretching to be like, this is like some extremely like demonic, you know, this is like very indicative of like her, like it's clearly, you know, and to me, I'll tell it to you like this, like, I had the complete and opposite reaction with her. And it is, to me, just like it's a complete nothing burger. Like, this is her addressing her team in a professional capacity. Now, albeit, I don't think that she should be in charge. I don't think that women should be like involved in these things at all. That's besides the point. But I've been around people who are in very high functioning relationships. Like, you know, for the longest time when I was in some of these, you know, extracurricular, you know, programs, even sitting out of high school, there were like a couple couples that I should say who were like teachers, you know, husband and wife, and they operated like high functioning like that. They were very high functioning. And I catch a good bit of a whiff of that. And this is not a defense of Erika. I think she optically like is miserable with a lot of the way that she was behaving. And some of the stuff was very fishy. But this is like, this to me is, there's nothing here. You know, she's mentioned Charlie like multiple times. She's talking about, you know, like, you know, thank you very much for helping and being a part of here. It's like very much what you would expect someone to be saying, like to a team of people who coordinated together. Now, you can be upset that like they are selling merchandise and stuff, etc., like that. But I'm not picking up like, oh, did you catch that? Like, did you catch that? There it is. There it is. She did it. She was the one who killed Charlie. It's like I'm not getting anything even close to that. And this is what I mean by, I'm going to take aim again at this account here, this Diligent Denizen account. I am specifically seeing this account pushing a lot of things.
I still love all these emojis
that are just like nothing. That are just nothing. And I brought this account up about a week ago, but to me, a lot of it does come across very, very, very like demoralizing. Like they're a demoralization campaign. Yeah, and you probably would need more to say something like that. I'm not to say like this, she's not suspicious at any means. I'm just saying like this is nothing. And beyond that, diligent denizen, despite all of what we're getting with James Fishback, and I get the hesitancy, but they had said in a reply to one of their comments, I wish I had it right now to be able to pull up, but they said in a reply to somebody, because diligent denizen posted a clip of Fishback from some year or two ago talking about how Bill Ackman had put him on to conversations in politics in Florida. Now, yes, I find that suspicious, but they were using that as like, just because that's a thing and we don't know anything more beyond that, that's enough reason to not vote for Fishback and just let Byron Donalds win. Like, what? Like, what do you have, like, especially there in Florida, it's like, what do you have to lose by voting for Fishback? You're currently being ruled by an Israel glazer. Byron Donalds is definitely an Israel glazer. And beyond him, Jay Collins, the little rat in the race, is also an extreme Israel glazer. It's like, at least like take the chance. Like, what else are you going to do with the vote? Right? But just like not even showing up is crazy. And it's not even an argument for voting harder. It's a vote of like, you know, for a lot of people, they don't really have anything to vote for. It's like, you know, in some states, it's Lindsey Graham's or Nancy Mace. It's like, okay, I'm not showing up. Same thing with the federal election. But for people like Casey Push versus Vivek, that's meaningful. That's worth putting your vote behind. That's worth going and getting registered for. Same thing with Florida. And Florida is more specifically on the element of what do you have to lose. And that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing a lot of this stuff from accounts like that have been pushing the Charlie Kirk stuff to an extreme end. And on beyond that, a lot of these accounts are also sharing the similar idea of like, well, because IDF trains ICE, we now have to be against mass deportations. All right, guess I support Israel now, dude. It's like, bro, what? It's just an insane argument. And I'm just bringing this to your attention because we are in a period where you really don't know who to trust. You just don't. And a lot of these accounts, even accounts that I may reference, may actually have ulterior motives. And we just, you know, we don't know. So to me, it is like everything you need to take with a grain of salt. And so to me, when I see Diligent Denizen pushing against Fishback just from these weak-ass video, pushing against Erika Kirk from this weak-ass video, sure, whatever, but it begins to stack up. And then when you see accounts that are liking them and sharing them are now also pushing, like Suleiman Ahmed posted a meme of like an ice patch, but then the next photo is a guy lifting the ice patch and there's an IDF patch underneath. It's like, I don't care. Bo, bring the IDF in if they're going to carry out mass deportations. Bring in the Indian military force. Bring in ISIS if they'll carry out mass deportations. I'll take anyone who will carry out mass deportations. And this goes again in that same vein, which is just because it benefits, or in some nebulous way, it somehow benefits Israel. Who cares? This, of course it would. We are in a position where Israel has co-opted America for over 100 years, or shortly a little bit less than that. Of course, we're tied to the hip. It's going to happen. It doesn't mean that now we need to disavow ourselves and just say F it all. We have to just live with 30 million illegal immigrants here because, you know, we just got to stick it to IDF and Israel. It's like, it's so retarded. It's so removed from like what is actually helpful, meaningful, pragmatic, realistic. And again, I'll reference Sam Parker, who said it best. The question is not, does it benefit Israel? The question is, how much more does it benefit America relative to Israel? That's the question that you should ask. However, there was other audio that was insane that has been circulating around, and I would be behooved if I did not play it. So this audio is coming from the Arizona GOP committee woman Liz Harris, supposedly. This is another one that's being reported by Stu Peters. I've seen it from a few different people. The conversation was also corroborated by a former TPUSA employee by the name of Matthew Tucciarone, who also has been on Stu Peters to talk about these things. But this is this audio in question. And this audio from Arizona GOP committee woman Liz Harris says that Alex Jones, Steve Bannon, and Charlie Kirk are all controlled by Mossad. Here's this. And this is from Project Constitution. And they are, again, pushing it for Stu Peters. Again, take all this with a grain of salt. I could go either way on Stu, to be honest with you. I'm kind of reserved at this point in time, but regardless, here's this.
The other very delicate thing we have going on is all this stuff with Israel. Now, Thaler is Jewish. Breger is Jewish. Like, when I say Jewish, I mean, like, not, they're very Jewish, meaning very, Bev Goldstein, like, there's so many names I can throw out that I do believe when we look at Turning Point and we look at all of this, I do see Mossad. I see there again. There's so many other things where I'm connecting dots. I think Alex Jones is controlled by them. Charlie Kirk's controlled by them. Steve Bannon. I can't believe nobody's killed me. I really can't. I have no idea why.
Because God is protecting right now. There's a lot of people that I'm surprised are not dead right now, but nobody gets to do anything unless God gives it permission.
I'm with you, Liz. I mean, I've already had people show up to my door from what I've exposed, but I'm still alive. We're meant to be alive.
I don't know who these other individuals are in this conversation. I'm going to assume one of them is that former TPUSA employee, the Matthew Tucciarone. And it's just curious that this is dropping out now. And again, just released by Stu Peters, Liz Harris. Per project, per all these people. But I think one of you guys said it best in here too. We can't even trust audio anymore. And that is kind of it's just an insane thing. And I was even saying that too when we were getting the clips from the White House when they were like, and now we have Trump saying this from Air Force 2. It's like, bro, if they were doing this Biden in his term, everybody would be saying it was fake. So we need to hold to those same standards. And we know they were pushing like that, all the fake scenery and stuff behind them too, with like the weird, like the differences in the sunlight and like the plants and stuff like that. So zero trust society, dude. I think we're at the point now where I think going with your gut will prove you right more than anything else, to be honest with you. Just insane. But just to bring up this, just to show you, this is the former TPUSA guy is Matthew Tucciarone, and this is him. And this was him also, I think, at another date having a conversation with Stu Peters, referencing this conversation here. I'll just play it from now.
There was a conversation that I had with Liz Harris, who used to be part of the Arizona House of Representatives.
Yeah, we know Liz.
Yep. I had a conversation with her. I have it recorded too, because in Arizona, you can record conversations. She literally said to me,
just say Jews.
Turning Point's Mossad, Tyler Boyer is Mossad. They're all neocons.
Liz Harris told you this?
Liz Harris told me this. I have the recording.
She told you Tyler Boyer was Mossad?
Yep.
So they showed some text there. I looked into this a little bit ago, and there's talk about Tyler Bauer being compromised as well too. No, I've not dug into it any further than what I've explained to you guys here. Typically because the way that the news cycle has been going, especially in the JQ and in this wheelhouse, I think it's better to wait to get things more corroborated than not. Because right now I'm only seeing this coming from Stu Peters, and it's not good when you only have one source and it's somebody I already am like, I could go back and forth on in terms of like how trustworthy is he? Because again, this is somebody who's supposedly involved in some kind of, with rug pulling, with crypto, and I'm not going to get into that. I'm not taking sides. I don't even care about it. Don't tell me. But regardless, it's just to say, like, can you trust it? I'm not sure. But just to bring that up, and not to beat a dead horse, but there's, again, more's coming out. We did get a little bit, actually. I have, again, we have a section called More of the Same, and this is going to be a regular edition probably every single stream that we do. And that is the fact that every single day you can find some Jewish Congress happening somewhere. where they are organized and they are talking about the global aims of fighting antisemitism, or Zionism in general, or defending Israel, etc. That's just what we're going to call it, more of the same. I had a little bit about Mike Huckabee, but I mean, we already know the deal with Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee is a traitor. He had further statements talking about Jeffrey Epstein, which was just insane. Yeah, and he was a lot more outspoken again earlier today, or it might have been yesterday or last night, about how he's very confident in Trump's commitment to ensuring that America is blessed in the framework of those who bless Israel be blessed. And so more of the same on that end. What I do have though, what I will play, because there's 3 that I had included in this section. I'll just explain the Mike Huckabee one and I'll explain the Yoram Hazony one, but we'll watch the 3rd. Yoram Hazony started making some public appearances. And in one of these public appearances, in like a 10-minute spiel, he's going on and on about anti-Semitism. And he calls it the anti-Semitism industrial complex. And the reason why it's a bit more signatory, or I would say significant in general, that Yoram Hazony is actually now publicly speaking is particularly because as much as he is a public figure, you largely hear from him through other people. It's kind of how Yoram Hazony kind of operates. You know, he is a public figure. He does talk a lot. But it's more so to say that like the calling cards come through his proteges or people that he gives advice to. And seeing Yoram Hazony on the public stage for that long, you know, being that emboldened to say what he was saying was felt like maybe that was a bit of a sign of what's to come from all of those who exist inside Yoram Hazony's network. But the one I will play comes from a female. Her name is Tila Falic Levi, or Levi, however you say it. She's a council member of the United States Holocaust Museum, mind you. And what she's going to do here in this clip is actually brag about how easy it was, because of how networked everyone is, to shut down the Clubacaust and kick out Nick Fuentes. And I was a little taken back by what I'd heard there. Here it is. Let me get rid of some of these, actually.
We saw in a nightclub in Miami, Nick Fuentes, avowed anti-Semite, went to the club supposedly for the first time, and the DJ's playing a song from Kanye West called Heil Hitler. Tell me a little bit about how the Miami community has reacted and gone on the offensive after this.
It happens to be that the mayor of Miami, Stephen Minor, is in town here in Israel. We had dinner together. We actually spoke about this yesterday. In Miami, there's zero tolerance for hate, and not just towards Jews, but we have many minorities living in Miami. There's a lot of Latin, Hispanic communities from all kinds of backgrounds. There's minorities from Haiti, from Cuba, from Venezuela, from everywhere. And so there really is a melting pot of minorities that come together to support each other. And having grown up in Miami, I personally still have never experienced firsthand anti-Semitism. And I don't think it's because people love Jews. It's because you have law and order, the leadership starts from the top, and people are not afraid to say what they believe in and what they really want to stand for. So this—
It's just such BS, dude. It's like the entire right wing is actually terrified to say what they would like to say. And we have been paralyzed for some time. Granted, it's gotten better here lately, but I would say the majority of people on this side are in the habit of self-censoring.
Situation at the Club of Miami, it was like very easy to shut down because every single elected official, every single local leader, every single club and nightlife owner immediately came out, condemned it, and shut it down. So by the time people were reaching out to me as a Jewish community leader saying, what are we doing about this? Let's go protest outside the club.
Every political leader, a club owner, business owner, they came out together in an instant. She is self-reporting. Do you hear what she's saying? She's saying all of Miami banded together because the song was played for 30 seconds just to ensure that like 4 guys could be banned like statewide from the area. But nothing can be done about the illegal immigrants. Nothing can be done about the rampant crime across the whole, do you hear that? We're going to play it back one more time. So you can hear her say it from her mouth that they literally banded together like the day of to ensure that they would ban these people in defense of anti-Semitism. Now compare the action here to what happened to the Clubacaust, to literally anything else that might actually affect a fucking American in an everyday cycle of life.
Antisemitism. And I don't think it's because people love Jews. It's because you have law and order. The leadership starts from the top, and people are not afraid to say what they believe in and what they really want to stand for. So this situation at the Club of Miami, it was like very easy to shut down because every single elected official, every single local leader, every single club and nightlife owner immediately came out, condemned it, and shut it down. So by the time people were reaching out to me as a Jewish community leader saying, what are we doing about this? Let's go protest outside the club. The club had already been shut down. The DJ had already been fired. Nick Fuentes and all his Nazi friends had already been banned from every single nightlife institution in South Florida.
So before the rest of the Jewish community could even react, they had already shut the club down, fired the DJ, and banned Nick and the Red Pill Avengers. We do not live in a Christian society anymore. This is not the societal reinforcement you would see inside of a Christian society. But what an insane self-report. What an abysmal self-report.
And when you come to Miami, there's a guy named Adam Sosnick. He's on a very famous podcast with PBD, Patrick Ben-David, and he actually called in one of the guys the next day. He's a Jewish kid who grew up in Miami, and he said, hey, why'd you do it? Like, why were you hanging out with them? And why didn't you go sit at the box with other social media influencers, with the president and Marco Rubio the night before where there was a college football final? Why did you pick to be in the wrong place at the wrong time? And the guy said, I messed up. So there's no tolerance in Miami, and law and order and consequence, real consequence, shutting these things down is what takes care of it immediately.
It's crazy, dude. They're like, Lord, what would it take? Like, what would it take to actually get somebody who would be helpful in this country? We have so many of these like pseudo fake masculine guys. It's just, think about all of like the army guys and like the gun nut guys, and like, where are any of them, dude? Not a single one of them. Like, sure, there's like what, Andy Fazella or whatever his name is, but like, bro, there's like literally nobody. It's just depressing, man. That part is depressing. Like, and it's so I don't know. I feel like I repeat myself 25 times a day anymore. And again, I mean, I'm not gonna beat the dead horse around, but you sit here and you see this and look at the confidence and like the gall, the chutzpah they have, like Adam Sosnick to talk to Andrew Tate. What happened? Like what happened to the red-blooded American man? What happened to like Don Fry? Like, where are these people, dude? What happened to them? Like surely, there's no way in like just 2 generations they siphoned every ounce of conviction and vigilance out of white men. Surely no way only took 2 generations. 3 generations. I know. And obviously, like, I know I'm being a bit obtuse. So like I understand that there's certain elements and other things that play here, but I don't know, dude. You like, your options in life, if you want to ignore everything, is to go through an effeminate society where you are told, bitch slapped and spit on every step of the way if you don't constantly flagellate yourself as a white man, to every other race and homosexuality, and you got to sit there and say the line, Bert, white people are bad. And when you make it through and you get to college, you get a decent job, you work for a company that hates you more than likely, or it's probably just some job you don't want to be at in the first place. And you're stuck in a poor economic situation. You have some semblance of why you're there, but you don't understand it fully. You decide you want to have children, but to have children, you gotta shack up and go through the ringer that is dating and marriage. And for some people, they don't pursue marriage. I disagree with that. Only in the Christian sense, but you guys know how I feel about marriage and what I would tell the average guy right now. And the thing is, it's not getting to me, and I'm not blackpilling. I'm just saying, like, should there not be more of us? Right? Like, should there, like, where are you? Like, where? It's like the grapers are it. That's all we have. Shant and wilt. That's the kind of stuff I think about. I just don't, like, that's the part I don't get. And maybe it's just me, dude. Maybe it's just me, but I look at this kind of stuff and I go like, a dog, dude. Bro, you only get so long to live, man. Like, and you're gonna walk on your hands and knees while people kick you. Like, F that, dude. Like, I'm going to live on my feet. I'd rather die alone in a hole than live my life with no dignity. I don't know, man. Maybe it is the Chad abundance thing, right? Where it's like there are a lot of these guys where you go like, they are capable, but because they surmise and sit above a lot of the problems, they just choose not to deal with it or get involved with it in the first place. Which I understand that to a certain effect. But at the same time, you sit there and you go like, but that's the Rogan individualism of it, which is, well, it ain't affecting me, so why bother? It's sad, man. There was a bit of a debate, though, between Owen Shroyer and Shabbos Kestenbaum, which is this clip here. And much like what we just have been going through here as well, too, like you'll hear coming from Shabbos himself, coming from Kestenbaum himself, just how the Jews feel about quite literally a lot of things all at once and in short succession. And he literally logged off in this, too, which is just a weak move, coward move. But here's the clip here.
Soldiers, that is a so when I see 1 million dead Russian soldiers, that is a total American victory. The idea that Ukraine is going to lose the war, well,
no, you're disgusting. You celebrate dead people. That's just gross. That's why you liked abortion. It's just gross. That's just detestable.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. I'm thrilled when I see dead. Okay, relax, buddy. I'm thrilled when I see dead Russian soldiers who invaded a sovereign country. I'm thrilled when I see dead Chinese Communist Party officials. I'm thrilled when I see dead Nazis. I'm thrilled when I see dead Islamists, because I, just like every single conservative, just like every single.
That's actually very accurate.
About that, he'll see you dead, and he'll call you any one of those things, and he'll be thrilled that you're dead. There it is. The true colors coming out.
Again, I'm happy to have like a normal conversation, but if you're going to interrupt like a retard, then there's no point in having a debate, and I would encourage you to log off. I recognize the same thing that our founding fathers recognized. I recognize the same thing that every single conservative and Republican president has recognized, which is there's evil in this world, and there's only one way to deal with evil, and that is with the eradication of evil. So if you're an Islamist who flies planes in the Twin Towers, the only response to that is murder, is killing them so they cannot kill you.
If you 9/11 narrative, do you believe the official 9/11 narrative?
Adam, can we mute him? Otherwise, I'm logging off. It's very simple. Make a choice. All right, I'm out.
Address the Ukraine. Wow. Okay.
What conversation is there to be had anymore? Right? Like, right? Like, I mean, you know, and then he's like getting mad for like Owen interrupting him, but it was like, dude, you literally paused for like 3 seconds. I would have stepped in there too. Like you straight up just stopped talking. So Amber Owen looks like a greasy lesbian vampire, though. He's been growing his hair out, man. What can I say, dude? I used to grow my stuff out all the time. I couldn't do it no more, dude. I could not stand dealing with it. Just shave the head, dude. Just shave it. Just shave it. Just go bald. Go bald. Be a real wigger. Go bald. Yeah, are you guys surprised that they're murderous? Yeah, not me. Not I. And what's funny too, this is probably one of the last things I'll look at here because I have to literally go piss so bad. Is this. And it's that I was kind of blown away by this, to be honest with you. Dr. Oz, who's been looking awful lately, he's like all like completely like white out hair. I don't know like really like where it came from at all. But he's probably just getting old, you know what I mean? Being stressed out. He just went through like lost a campaign race to John Fetterman that probably didn't feel good, probably added to the gray hairs. But Oz is now hunting down Russian fraud in Los Angeles. Dude, it's like you can't at a certain point, dude, you just have to stop caring. You know what I mean? Like everybody can do what they want. This isn't advice. This is a complete hypothetical. But say we were in Minecraft and the IRS wanted to come collect my taxes. I'm going to tell them that means nothing. Get away from my home. It means nothing. We can do this, dude. But both of us want to go see our family. You know, like it's just like it's getting to the point where it's like I cannot even be bothered to go sign into TurboTax and give a flying F. I could not be bothered to care about like do like some like simple things like dude, it's just like at a certain point we just gotta be like, dude, we're not doing this anymore. Every other group doesn't have to play by the rules. We're not either, dude. Who you gonna enforce first? You gonna come for us? And that's called playing the game. Not a recommendation at all. I do not give anybody advice at all. Do not follow me. People need to make decisions accordingly and individually based on their own situations. And honestly, that's truthful and that goes for everybody. But if you're asking me, dude, we're getting dangerously close to well, the badge. Wow, you're from the police department? That's crazy, dude. And I'm mayor of Atlasville. And you're in Atlasville right now. And as mayor of Atlasville, because it means nothing. It means nothing to me. If you're not going to stand up for Christianity, if you're not going to stand up for America, why am I going to assist the vehicle, which is the American government, which is annihilating my people? Get the fuck off my lawn. And I'll be nice too. Like, it's not going to be rude. But it's like the moment you put your hand on my door, it's like, all right, dog. Because look at the left. Listen, dude. If they're gonna back down because oh no, these people were up and they were like, oh no, like it's so bad. Okay. Let's see that same energy on display from the other side. Let's get the party started. Obviously being very hypothetical, but the point being, which is like on these minor scales though, is to just sit here and go like, think about the rule set first before actively applying to it immediately. You know what I mean? Think about your family before you think about your family comes before obeying the tyrannical government. It does. It just simply does. Atlasville sounds lovely, actually. You live there? That's great, dude. Yeah. Population 3 right now, dude. We can make it 4. No. But only you, Donnie. We can't be harboring the whole family here. Unless we're hiding them in the attic. Guys, the Jews are here. They're looking for the last white Gentiles. Everyone quiet. But this is that too. Like, start a daycare. We have to eat the bugs in Atlasville? No. But we are cannibals and we do eat Haitians. Start a daycare. But this is the point, which is like this is my point the other day, which is like, yeah, guys, let me go make a great video about how there's all this Somalian fraud in Columbus. So that at the end of it, the net result of what my work gets is massive riots in the city and nothing. Dude, I can't believe that my investigative work unleashed so much nothing. But these people, I don't even care, dude. Like Tix was saying the other day, using the LRAD, I don't care what they use at this point, dude. Use it. Bring in Project Bluebeam, a UFO, come start picking people up. I don't care. ICE has not gone far enough, and there's many people here who are not going to be able to handle, and a lot of it will be men too. This will not just only be women. We live in a very effeminate society, and a lot of men that exist in this society have been captured by feminism and are themselves effeminate. They are not going to be able to sit there. We're already seeing it, dude. We're seeing theater kids like pull up their whole collection of guns and put them on TikTok because a fat Mexican was pushed by an ICE agent. Now they're in Star Wars. Okay. Well, here's the thing. I've lived in a society that's nonstop degenerated and attacked Christians constantly. I live in a society that actively pretends they are Christian, and at every step of the way, sit there and push for more bullshit that puts more men like me into terrible positions. And then when they end up in those positions, they spit on them, kick at them, and tell them, wow, what a fucking idiot. Should have got married. On the other side of it, Matt Walsh also says, well, you should have known. Wow, wonderful. Thanks for the advice. Thanks for the wonderful advice. And on top of it all, in addition to that in society, what else do we get? Well, the people who are on my side, above all, you know what they're doing? Saying literally nothing. But the moment that I go one step too far, I said one poor thing about Jewish people that maybe was a bit bad out of context. The whole weight of the boomer right comes out like you've never seen before. They're coming out, they're making calls, just like you see with the Jewish nightclub. Ring, 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 ring. Now you're all banned from the nation. Miss me with anything. Save your virtue signaling. Save the whining. Like Ben Shapiro's fake shit was, I am here. I'm ready for the liberal tears. Cry about it. I don't give a shit. My people are being attacked, genocided. Christ is being stampled and trampled in the streets. That's had a Candace Owens there. That's funny. I do not care. I do not care. Don't care. I'm almost even mad at myself for even half of a second on a stream, even opening up to the idea of like, well, you know, awful idea of me. I condemn myself, disavow of myself that day. Don't care how Alex Pretty was shot. Don't give a shit. These people need to be locked in their homes. Millions of immigrants need to be deported. And the fact that there's even any other conversation happening right now is all evidence to the fact that the current administration is impotent and unwilling and unable, well, whichever you pick, unwilling or unable, they're two different things, will both give you the same result. Their barrier to our future is betrayal. That is treason. That is sedition, however you want to describe it. Don't care. Oh God, no. No, but they... Do you remember Nat Stone's Dead Boykin show? I don't really like when you see people getting shot in the back. Okay, well, I don't like seeing white girls get stabbed in the neck for no fucking reason either. But one of them needs to fucking stop. And we have to pick as a society which one of them stops. And like I said before, dude, part of the reason that this is happening is because they're not going with the full-throated approach. Roll the tanks in there. Get Bovino back. Bring them back out, open the hatch on the M1 Abrams, roll it through Minnesota, Minneapolis, through the streets, run over people's cars. I don't care. Run over Tim Walz's car, all of the staff. We're shutting it down. These people are getting out. The millions of money in fraud in Somalia, arrest all these people. I don't care. And that's where we are, dude. It's infighting at the top on the right. It's infighting in the middle. It's infighting at the bottom. It's principle this. It's principle that. Let's play it again. Play it for the people in the back. The real tragedy is the fact that we're sitting here arguing over minuscule, nonsensical, unnecessary nothing. And the real problem, the real tragedy is our society is dying, if not have already surpassed and has died. And Dumernet also brought up great points about the birthing rates. Because if you take away the old and aging population out of white people, I would be terrified to know what that actual number was. If you took out the white boomers of the white population in America, what does that number say? Because that's really who we're working with. Take the boomers out of the equation. It may already be here. The great replacement may just, it's happening. So, like, I'm not going to sit here and cry about a protester. It's like, I won't, around 30%. I won't sit here and say, well, you know, I won't sit there and be like, wow, I'm good. I'm glad that they died. But I will sit here and say, I literally do not care. Don't care. And you know what? Say it. Say everything you want. Say whatever you want. Say whatever you want about me. It means nothing. It means nothing when we know for a fact, without a doubt, you are acting on behalf of whether it's the synagogue of Satan or your own other fleshly, evil, disgusting, degenerate desires. I will not stand for it any second longer. And I'm sorry for all of those who do not have the capability or wherewithal to do the things that are, for lack of better words, dirty, handling dirty work. And that's just the way it is. It is just the way that it is. And Nick was spot on, dude. And that's what I mean. But like, we're not seeing it in like the general population of men. Like, sure, we're seeing it here and there. But that's what also plays into my belief of like, where are the men? Where is the guy who's going to step up and say, you know what? You know what? I will be Hitler. F you all, dude. It means nothing. I will stand up for my people. My people are Christian and white America. That's my people. That's my nation. And sure, we can have a conversation about everything else, Black Mirror and stuff, but still. The energy is not where it needs to be. And that's why the title was not far enough. We're not even close to ICE even doing anything, even close to being praiseworthy yet. Have barely even started. When you compare it to the fact that we're underperforming compared to where Biden's deportation numbers are, or not to Biden, but Obama's deportation numbers are, I'm not hearing anything. You can either want to save the country, or you can cry because they're about non-whites. Pick. Them or your children. Pick. Say it with a straight face and mean that shit when you pick someone else over your own children, over your own legacy, over your own nation, over Jesus Christ. Because I am not going to be there with you, and I ain't going to feel bad about it. Exactly as Donnie said. This is where we were after Charlie Kirk. What happened to that energy? Here I am, Lord. Send me. All of a sudden, 2 weeks later, all those edits are gone. Where's the energy at? Whether you believe in it or not, I do. A leftist, a deranged leftist, blew a hole through his neck. And regardless of who you think did it, you watch those people dance. Remember Simheit's video. When you look at Charlie Kirk, that is you. And these people will dance and make TikToks about your weeping wife and the children you leave behind and the family you leave behind when you were killed for something as ridiculous as that. And it's just playing games. Like Destiny said, the pretend world. That's what conservatives are doing right now. They're playing pretend. I have all these dolls and I don't care. I don't want to hear about Bill O'Reilly talking about China anymore. I don't want to hear any of these old cahoots. Either do what's required to be done, or you need to go. Who cares about voting anymore? I'm going to tell you what, dude. There's going to be a point in the near coming future where voting will be a thing of the past. Or it'll be a thing of the future, depending on the way that you're looking at it. We got to act now. Have to act now. Have to act now or it's over. And just like Nick said, just like we're seeing in South Africa, are you ready to be hunted down? Are you ready to have the most elite security systems? You're going to have to start buying and borrowing from Israel, getting their Palantir level tech to protect your home. When they start hunting you down. When they start outlawing Christianity. Just like he said, they might as well fly the Star of David over our heads at this point. Do you feel like you live in a Christian country? I don't and haven't for years. So when are we going to change that? How about instead of a society where they punch Nazis, how about we have a society where we punch everybody who blasphemes Christ? How about we have a society where we slap people for saying and pushing people to be homosexual? That's a society I want to live in. But they'll sit here on YouTube 24/7 and brag about how they'll do it the other way around. Brag about how they laugh at God. Brag about how they teach their kids at an early age not to worship Jesus Christ, how they should look down upon it. I am not in the business of caring or giving a shit in the slightest at all, and will not be for the foreseeable future. And I meant it when I said locking into 2026. So not playing a game. Well, can't. And part of the reason is like, I have to do this. The energy's like not there. So I'll go even over the top a little bit too. Because where is it? Getting John Doyle. The most basic thing you can do is vote for Republican. Wigga. So with that's where I'll leave it. I have to go to the bathroom, unfortunately. I was hoping I'd make it to 3 hours, but my bladder is going to explode. But I'm not going to be able to. I'll flash on screen what I wanted to show. It's just Dr. Oz hunting down Russian fraud in LA. And it's just to make the point, dude, it's everywhere. You're the only person that has to obey laws. If you're a white person, you're the only person, not even that has to, that's expected to. Everyone else gets a free pass. Everyone else is a person of color. Woe is me. You're evil because you were born white. You're evil because you're a Christian, yada, yada, yada. It's a bunch of BS. Deny it, reject it. And don't listen to it. Don't even acknowledge it. Have to. Has to be a harsh denial and rejection. No. Sorry. I don't worship the Holocaust. You can have that though. Sorry. You can keep it. Sorry. I don't worship cows and I don't eat poop. You can keep it. Sorry. Don't. Not here. Not I. Sorry. I don't worship secular Marxist framework. Sorry. Not here. Not I. The debate was over, dude. When Charlie Kirk was shot, the debate was over. And we're all just lying to each other and playing a bunch of stupid games. When in reality, what should be happening? We should be sitting here eating popcorn, watching as millions of illegals are being thrown out. And quite frankly, what would come with that would be a bunch of stupid leftists getting their hands blown off by flashbang grenades because they are literally retarded. I'll end on that. I appreciate you guys greatly. Thank you very much. And as always, I'm rooting for you guys. We avoid the black pill, take the white pill, be better, be stronger, be faster, be smoother, be more charismatic, do everything you can to improve and be the best absolute version of what you can be. Because what else even is there to life beyond improving and being the positive, building, organizing, being better, greater, living for something greater? Be the penguin. Be the penguin. But it is going to require a lot more action on our part. It will require a lot more actual in-person action. And I'm talking being very open and verbose about it, not letting things slide. When people put on Taylor Swift in the car, you take that CD, you eat that shit out the window and say, keep that stupid shit out of my car. Quit playing games with people, dude. Be just as ignorant as the left is. We're going to have to start playing some of these low vibration games with them to get them to match the energy. It might not feel good, but rather the other option is your kids getting chased down in even a worse environment than what we're living in right now. I don't want that. You don't want that. So let's fix it. Christ is King. As always, Christ is Lord. Deport Cash Patel, deport Pam Bondi, and chain every woman over 100 pounds to the kitchen sink. Make sandwiches, not podcast. And Lord willing, guys, we'll get our country back. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.
Get up and get out. Get out. Get out. I have a question for you.
Say Christ is Lord. Say Christ is Lord. Say it. You say Christ is Lord.